Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to what's talk raps. You're listening to what's talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Booyaka! Hey. We in the fucking building. It's Saturday. Grapsody boys are here. What's up?
Yep, we are in the building. Welcome to Grapsody. It is Saturday. It is April 16th, 2022. And I'm Will Washington. I'm one member of this trio, but I'm not alone here because there's Mr. Phil Lindsey.
I'm in the building. This is your second dose of your week. Hope you guys enjoyed our Nyla interview. What's going on?
It's true. This is the second time we've done a thing this week. You just saw us yesterday. But also here is Righteous Reg.
Always in the fucking building. It's Double R, your favorite writer, your favorite rapper, your favorite podcaster. It's Media Man, the only one in the game doing it like us is us. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it. If you haven't seen the interview, by the way, check it out at youtube.com/.
Great interview. I want to first start out by giving a shout out to all those people over at Squared Circle because they have a dope thread going on talking about some things we talked about on the Nyla interview, identity, politics, all these things and stuff. Very great conversation going on over there. Appreciate everybody at Reddit because they're always giving it up to Grapsody. It's like pretty dope.
Yeah. Reg is an avid lurker over on.
I'll be lurking, boy. Yesterday, I finally put my name in to be like, look, I'm here. What's up? Appreciate y'all, but I've been lurking for a while.
Yeah, he has been. He always keeps us like apprised of whatever's going on Reddit. He's like, hey, y'all see this thread?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Reddit's kind of an intimidating place sometimes.
It totally is. It's pretty awful over there, but like they be giving it up to us.
It's pretty awful.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real.
Them props.
Yo, look, it's bad. I've seen some threads where I'm like, what are y'all talking about? What's going on over here? But other than that, they'll be like straight up like, Will Washington of Grapsody said this. So it's like you got to give it up to people that are like saying. They're like really straight up like giving it up to us. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah, and speaking of a Will Washington story, there'll be one here shortly. Although I'm just realizing, you ever like have a dream about something and then you spend like, I don't know, a big part of your day not realizing that like it didn't happen, and then it like occurs to you that like it was a dream. Yeah. So like for whatever reason, and it's just now hitting me, like just in the last couple seconds, because I've only been awake like an hour. I had a dream last night that like WWE released Big E, and I maybe spent the last like hour almost like mad about it until it just hit me. I'm like, Big E ain't
wasn't real. Yeah, it wasn't real.
No, that wasn't real. Why would they release Big E?
So you mean they didn't try and call Keith Lee Bearcat and then release him and he's somewhere else doing cool things? That was all a dream.
No,
I had
that was very real.
I don't know why in my head I've been like kind of annoyed by that for like.
I can't believe they did this shit.
And I'm like, no, that wasn't real. That was a dream. But yeah, it's a great Saturday. Cool things happening in the world of professional wrestling, which is what we talk about here on Grapsody. And we always appreciate your support. And there's a number of ways you can support us. We have our Humper Chats, humperchats.com. And the cool thing about Humper Chats, you can really send those at any time. They doesn't just have to be during the show, but we will read those during the show. I even saw Van Twin Blade who's like, Will, get the Humpers. I still don't have access to them, but I got folks that
we'll give it up to Glory Pro, don't worry.
Yeah, but we got folks that do have access to them, and so that's how we're going to make that happen. And also, we have our super chats, and we've got a few of those to read right now, such as Matt. Matt says, happy Saturday, Reg, Phil, and Will. Windy City Riot tonight, and hoping tonight there is a mention of this rumored AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Show.
They created some buzz around this show this week. Like it was, I mean, there was some buzz going in, but like this week it like upped a lot. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be super
where exactly
interesting.
did that come from? Because I know I've seen the Voice of Wrestling clip, but
I saw there's a podcast,
The J-Cast.
J-Cast, yeah, they said something about it being hot, so shit has been hot since then.
Yeah, and they've been pretty reliable on stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, if it is indeed here in your boy's hometown,
that's crazy.
We'll be there.
I saw something about maybe it being Wrigley Field too, and I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's hot.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. That would, I mean, the only thing is the date is talking about 2 months away, and like I know
it's a Thursday too. Somebody was saying, which is interesting.
So I know that AEW, when it comes to selling tickets, here's a little inside baseball, I guess. Usually, if they're going for a larger venue, they usually like 90 days lead time. So I don't feel like there's 90 days here. But
there's not.
There's not 90 days. If
this is different though. This is a very different case because if you announce this show, all you need is a week to sell this motherfucker out.
That's true. I mean, unless
Chicago.
they're going for something, unless they're going for something like The First Dance, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, something like that.
But I will say, like the what is it called now? The Kia Forum. They had 90 days on that. It was a straight up 90-day announcement for the forum. And then there was also Little Caesars Arena that they're running at the end of June. They did 90 days on that. But like the smaller venues, or at least like the regular size venues that they run, it's usually 60 days. So my guess here is that this one is probably going to be like a 60-day.
A smaller venue.
If not even smaller, just like something they normally run.
Right. It's going to be hot if it's real. That's pretty much the thing.
I don't know what the deal with that is.
Hanging out in Wrigleyville watching some New Japan wrestling.
Yeah, that's pretty hot, Phil. That's pretty hot.
I don't know what the deal is, but I will say that they're running Milwaukee the week before, or at least if it's a Thursday, the Wednesday before they're running Milwaukee, which is stone's throw from Chicago. What is that? A 2-hour drive? Phil, and then what? The week after they're in Detroit. So again, we're still talking that whole Midwest area.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
So Chicago would fit right in there.
I don't know what the plan is to give me anything for my birthday, but that is the day a week before my birthday. And
that's pretty hot. Pretty hot birthday present. Y'all better get on it for Phil, man. He gonna be out there, like really out there. If that's the case.
So I don't. This is one of those times I don't know. I don't even think
Will is not in on this time.
Yeah,
there's
the talent
this time.
Just this time.
I mean, well, because I do have a story today that I do have some scoops on. But yeah,
I mean, a couple of these stories you have played a part in. I mean, our first story here, like you're part of.
I got to break that story.
The rollout.
So that one is.
They got Will on the rollout. It's crazy.
Yeah. We've got RH says Athena versus Taya Valkyrie. Holy shit.
I saw that suplex onto the chair spot. They going crazy.
MJ Johnson says, do y'all ever do a wrestler's taunt at your house? Every time I put my kid down for a nap, I hit the Ricky Starks. Yeah, I can see that.
Hey, you did that, MJ.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, what kind of wrestling fan are you if you don't do the boom with Adam Cole every week? Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, it is like, and I guess this has been one of those, I don't know. You ever be like at the gym or just doing anything that's like workout intense and you like hit it so hard that when you're done, you just kind of hit that Batista just like, yeah, like that.
Yeah. Like I do that after I'm hitting it. I mean, when you get done hitting it, yeah. Right when you're done, right when you're about to bust, yeah. Pyro starts going.
I bow to the people. Bam,
I stand on the bed like, yeah.
So to answer your question, MJ, yes, we do.
Yes, that's the answer. Yes.
Yeah, Deontay. Hey, I bet Deontay. He says, "Yo, much love to all the homies, Will, Reg, Phil, as always, Wednesday was fucking incredible. Met the homie Will. Show was fun, and y'all be blessed. Yes, I did meet Deontay.
Appreciate you, bro.
That's hard.
Met a number of folks at the show in New Orleans. That was my first time in New Orleans.
Man. Courtside Will was active, bro.
I missed
Spike Lee
two.
seats out here, baby.
I missed 2 WrestleManias there, and so I felt like I had to do something, and it was fun.
Yeah, WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans was so fun. I think about that trip all the time. That was a really fun one.
Yeah, I didn't start doing Mania trips till after that one, and I feel like I can't believe I didn't for so long, but
I want to just go back to New Orleans. It's not for not wrestling, just to hang out because it's fun there, and the food's bomb.
I remember why. Because I was broke back then. I didn't have any fucking money.
Yes.
Going to WrestleMania was not even.
I was broke. I don't know how I did it. I was broke back then. I didn't get into wrestling shows for free back then. I paid for all my wrestling shows, so I don't know how I did it. I must have been. I don't know. I don't know.
2014, I had a baby on the way, and I was living in a small ass 600 square foot apartment and had no money, and there was no fucking way I was gonna pull off WrestleMania.
I saved. I was just poor. I just ate top ramen for weeks just to make this happen, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there
was no way my wife was gonna start letting me do that, and it wasn't until I don't know, shit changed, and now
now they roll out the red carpet for you boys. Honestly, some of them, not everybody, but y'all need to start rolling out the red carpet for you.
I'm just saying, man.
Come on.
All right, and so yeah, the point is, if you have any sort of situation that you are unhappy in, just know that there could possibly be good times on the other side.
Facts.
So
big facts.
That's the lesson here. That
when you got some news like I got this week, you're like, man, I came up. Let me just say that. Just remember this. Remember this tweet.
Is this the news you told us about?
Yeah, remember this tweet, you guys.
All right. Remember this.
Crazy out here.
Right.
The news that led to some news that led to some news, man. It's crazy out here. I can't even talk out loud anymore.
Yeah, I know. You can't say. You literally can't say anything else right now.
Fingers on the post, my guy. Fingers on the post.
But there's stuff, and it led to stuff that led to stuff.
Yeah.
And so.
Let's just move on.
Let's just move on.
We can't. Right. I don't want to make any connections here.
But for those unaware, yes, I was in New Orleans this past week.
Unaware? What do you mean? On camera,
you're very aware.
CM Punk's thing.
Legit, 9 seconds into Dynamite, there's Will Washington's face.
Hey, and like I said on Day After Dynamite this week, I get into entrances. All right, that is a thing I do, especially if it's songs I like. And are you kidding me? I grew up on Living Color, so.
And as wrestling fans, we've been hearing this song for a minute now, so
yes.
That's the jam.
Are you kidding me? I belt that shit, and when I'm in the crowd, I don't give a fuck. So when they cut to me right during and so of course I'm just.
I feel like a few times they were like, "Hey, let's find a black guy that knows the song." There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Right there.
We got one in the front row this week. It's gonna be easy.
Oh yeah. Only thing I was like, y'all are not gonna catch me singing Judas this week.
Yeah, I was you better.
Yeah, and they had the camera on me. The camera guy was like, "All right, here it goes," and I'm like, "Nope."
You don't know this one, bro?
I was like, "I know this one. You've gotten me at other shows singing Judas, not this time."
I feel like the cameraman was like, "Come on, I know he knows it."
I know this guy knows it.
He ended up getting the guy right next to me. Which shout out to the guy right next to me was this dude. He worked for the Pelicans, but he was a really big Minoru Suzuki fan. Didn't even really follow AEW, but he's a big New Japan guy. And he is I've never seen Suzuki in person. And so he was when I heard that he was going to be here, I bought this front row ticket to be here. And again, it's important I said he works for the Pelicans because the Pels played that night.
They had a game.
Literally, he didn't stick around for the moment after the bell rang. He did not see what happened after the bell because it was like, okay, he saw it. He saw Samoa Joe hit that Muscle Buster 1, 2, 3. He's like, all right, I'm out. I gotta hit Smoothie King Center to.
How far is that away?
I don't know. It was maybe like 15 minutes, so it wasn't that bad.
Big win for the Pellies too, man.
Yeah,
Ingram
straight
had a
up.
good night.
2 big wins.
It was scary last night. Ooh.
Last night, but they did it.
Yeah, they did
They pulled it off. The Pels are. I mean,
they're going in to get destroyed, but have fun out there. You
Hey
guys.
man, I'm a big fan of Ingram getting that moment. Mm-hmm. As a Braun hater, loved it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ingram.
Hey, but your boys are at war this playoffs because who would have guessed that the number 3 seeded Golden State Warriors would be taking on the number 6 seeded Denver Nuggets.
Man.
In the first round. You better hope Golden State does not give up one at home, because at that point, that's the shift.
Yeah,
that's all we need.
It's gonna be tough out there, man. It's Curry. That's all I gotta say is Curry. So,
I mean, that's the thing is the thing I tweeted about it is I don't know if the Nuggets are ready for playoff Curry, but also I don't know if playoff Curry still exists.
Exactly.
So,
that's it. That's exactly it right there. It's like if playoff Curry is there, we about to be lit. But is playoff Curry gonna be there?
I feel like Clay's the X factor though. I feel like if Clay comes out and plays good in this series, I feel like Denver's in trouble.
Clay has a chip on his shoulder and he's ready to go off. So that is, you're right. You're correct. If Clay is ready to go, it's gonna be tough.
Now I know. This first round is unlikely. If the Nuggets can make it out the first round, I know everything I was reading was saying that Jamal Murray, it's like up to him whether or not he plays in the playoffs at this point. He has been practicing. He'd obviously be off the bench. He hasn't started all year. He hasn't played all year. But if we could get Jamal Murray back for the playoffs, God, that'd be amazing.
This playoff series is crazy. There's a bunch of you never know. It's not like the previous years where you're like, this team is definitely going to win. It's like, no,
I can't pick one. I can't predict at all.
It's hot out there.
It is interesting that, just a few months ago when we were talking about it, Phil had said that, he still sees Milwaukee. And it's like, Milwaukee, they're the number 2 seed. Like, there's nobody to wag your finger at. But at the same time,
Milwaukee still looks tough, bro.
Yeah, but
Milwaukee
has made it's interesting how few waves Milwaukee's made, but they just kind of got there.
They're still in the mix.
They're still in the mix. They're still the number 2 seed, but nobody's been talking about Milwaukee. Like, people are talking about Miami, of course. But
I think that's the best position to be in. Like, y'all didn't think we were gonna be here, but we are out here, baby. Yeah. What's up? Man.
They got a tough road to the playoffs too.
They do.
I think they're going to beat the Bulls in the first round, but you're looking at possibly Brooklyn's second round. That's tough.
And Brooklyn's going to be hot. Then if they get to that point, they're going to be hot at that point. So it's going to be.
Brooklyn's got Celtics first round, right?
Yeah, and so
if
like I'm saying, if they beat the Celtics, they're going to be hot. Is what I'm saying.
Hey, we're not just wrestling fans here. We're also basketball fans. That's what we do.
But I think a lot of people want to see playoff Kyrie, bro.
I don't know. Well, he did that off of fasting. No, you don't want to see playoff Kyrie.
My guy, 12 for 13 fasting. That's
insane. I couldn't walk down the stairs fasting, and this bro was putting up numbers.
Yo, crazy.
So, folks, as reported by Fightful Select, let me just pull up the Fightful Select story.
The end of this show the super hot show, so hot. Everything was hot, and then these last 2 minutes just was a fart in church or whatever the saying is, man.
That was. I mean, that's very true. So the way Fightful Select put it was, they say the headline was news behind AEW Dynamite finish, Satnam Singh's debut, and they say AEW Dynamite saw an end that left many fans confused with the debut of Satnam Singh attacking Samoa Joe. Hold on, let me try and make this out. It says Grapsody's Will Washington, I think I know him, has learned that the move to debut Singh was done intentionally after the Discovery Warner Media merger as a big angle for Eurosport. Interesting. Discovery owns Eurosport, which is also All Elite Wrestling's India TV partner. The idea on AEW's behalf was to debut Satnam Singh on a big stage, to create a diverse platform with the story set up via Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. We're told that AEW is expecting huge social media traffic as a result of the angle, which will see Satnam Singh and Sanjay doing promos for the India market and helping bridge a gap between AEW and Eurosport and Discovery. Did a child just walk into the room? I feel like. Hi. Oh, hell yeah. Hey,
Yes.
this is my daughter, Veda.
What's up, Veda? Welcome to Grapsody.
This is an omelet.
Oh, that's what's up.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what's up. Oh, there it is. Wholesome moment on Grapsody.
Oh, man.
Numbers going up, baby.
All right.
Will Washington is for the kids, not just
I'm
Cody Rhodes and
saying
Wu-Tang.
it's lit. Yeah, it's very lit.
All
Yeah.
right,
So,
but anyway, and it says Will Washington will discuss more of what he's learned about this angle on this weekend's Grapsody podcast.
Really? I
noon
didn't read
Eastern
that
on
part.
Fightful. Oh yeah. So I guess.
it's crazy out here, Phil. They said he gonna discuss more on that.
Wait a minute. I just need us to dissect this entire moment. The way this man read this whole thing, and then daughter came in and brought him some breakfast in the
Come
mix
on,
of this.
bro.
Like, yo, let me get you
Flex,
right.
flex,
Let me get you right before you get into this.
Flex. Y'all might have planned that. Veda is an actress, I've heard. So I don't know.
I don't.
So thing could have been a thing. I don't know.
I mean, I may have to mute so I'm not eating in people's ears, but this is an omelet with. Is that ham? Is this ham? This is ham. I am.
This is unbelievable. This moment,
Yo.
he flexed on everybody so hard, double, triple flex, and then said he was going to drop news today on this show. What is this news?
Look,
I'm
okay, so
interested
there's
too.
not
I didn't
a
know
whole-
about it.
There's not a whole lot to drop, right? Like that's the majority of the story. That I basically, while I was in New Orleans, I did uncover that was the point of that entire angle. That the 2-minute overrun. The way it was worded to me was that Dynamite from 8 p.m. Eastern till 9:59 and 59 seconds Eastern was a normal Dynamite that a lot of people were considering a huge, like 9 out of 10 episode.
Great show.
And then everything from 9:59 and 59 seconds till about 10:02 was more so for this Eurosport deal that they have in India, which is their TV deal in India. And Eurosport is, of course, owned by Discovery. Discovery just bought Warner Media. Discovery is now the parent company of everything, right? So this deal means the deal already meant a lot to them. This deal means a lot more to AEW now, now that everything's in the same wheelhouse. And so this angle was really about appealing to that market. And now there were a lot of comparisons on social media, and Phil got into a lot of it with people over the comparisons to the Great Khali.
Oh, God.
I'll say this. There was a lot of similar thinking here when it came to the Great Khali, because the Great Khali did massive numbers for India. A lot of people credit the Great Khali for WWE's current success in India.
Yes.
When you look at YouTube numbers, if you look up the Great Khali on YouTube, I believe it's hundreds of millions of views on the Great Khali's highest viewed video. And just to make sure I'm right about
My
that.
favorite story is how that in India they used to edit all of Great Khali's footage for him to be, no matter what the time was, he was always the baby face. Like even if he was a heel, they would edit his footage to look like he was the baby face.
They did. They absolutely did. They would commentary would talk about him like he's the hero. Whoever he was feuding with was the bad guy. But yeah, there it is. The Great Khali Destroys Legends, a WWE playlist, has 102 million views. Like Great Khali
That's a lot of numbers.
He does numbers, right? And so it's one of those things where Satnam Singh is, as it was put to me, a slight bit of a celebrity in India. That he was the first Indian man drafted into the NBA. And
it's a lot of popular Indian guys on TV this week because the homie from Veer, right? He's like a famous baseball player, very famous people.
Which why wouldn't you bring him in as that?
Yeah, I'm still like I didn't know this story. Like I keep reading about it. I'm like, why don't I know this story? Like that should have been the first thing. Like he was this guy with this $1 million arm, did all this thing. Like what happened? But that's what they do.
So
they made him into a killer.
That was really what the angle was about.
So
that was kind of the point of essentially bringing Sanjay Dutt kind of back into the fold. Like Sanjay Dutt's been with AEW for months, almost a year now, and he's been a producer for AEW. He's really good at doing those because he really got him started in WWE. Those kind of social media promos, the whole like stop a wrestler and get kind of a more I guess a less scripted promo.
I like
out
those.
Of them. Yeah, that's some of the best.
I don't know why WWE stopped doing. They need to do more of those.
And they still do them, but like Sanjay Dutt was the driving force behind those, and you'll notice AEW has done a lot more of them since he's been there.
Sanjay was the reason that they did Ring Ka King with Impact Wrestling too. I think like in India, like he plays a huge
Ring Ka
role.
King was Ring Ka King was a success there.
Yeah.
Impact is a huge success in India. Like that the India wrestling market is huge, and that's one of those things where AEW has tried for a long time to really tap into that market, and they've had the numbers to show it. Like AEW Dark's viewership, a lot of it was India, and pretty much you remember when AEW used to do those post Dynamite. And they did it all the way up until they started taping Rampage, because after Rampage they weren't able to do it. But they would do those post Dynamite kind of Q&As with Tony Schiavone, and like the question they kept getting was, "When are you guys coming to India? Well, when are you guys going to get an India TV deal?" Like that kept coming through. Like the Indian TV market is huge for them, and so yeah, that was the driving force behind that angle.
Someone says something about Rohit, and they did on Dark this week. Rohit got a feature promo too, so like they're putting an emphasis. And Rohit is incredible too. They should sign Rohit.
Is awesome, bro.
He's so good.
He was great on Impact.
Yeah,
and because I've seen that question a lot too, of like, well, why don't you just run with him rather than a guy who like doesn't really have any wrestling experience? Like, one, they signed this guy. Like, this isn't a recent signing. He was signed back in 2021, and like, I'm surprised Tony reposted the All Elite graphic for him, because we've seen that before.
Right. He was just going to be like, yeah, remember, look, I did this before. Don't forget.
Yeah. So he's been with the company a minute. But that was a big part of it, though, was essentially playing up to the Eurosport deal. And I got to break that story because I was in New Orleans.
As we heard in that Fightful Select article that you just
doing work, bro.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get to it. This wasn't good. Like I'll just go out and say it. It was not good. And
there's a lot to talk about as far as I gave you the why. Now let's talk about the execution. Because this was no good at all.
This was not good.
It could have been way easier. Honestly, just take away the lights out thing and it wouldn't have been as bad.
Yeah, it was just pretty much way too overbooked. I mean, having Sanjay and Lethal come out with the box, and I mean the box reveal was hilarious with the
box reveal was funny. I liked it.
But the rest of it, we didn't need all of that.
I think from that point, after the box reveal, the homie Satnam should have just been right behind Job, just beating him up.
You didn't need all of the theatrics, all the lights out stuff. It was a little bit too overbooked.
And people are used to a certain je ne sais quoi, as they say, when there's a lights out thing. We're used to like some big, like there's still a lot of like talent out there that people would have been excited to see in that moment. And they were probably expecting that, and to debut someone that no one knows is a risky thing, and like as you see, it did not pay off,
especially in a Ring of Honor setting. Because
in a Ring of Honor setting, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
I people next to me were screaming, "Is this Cesaro? Is this Claudio?"
Right.
Like that's what people were screaming in that moment.
Yeah,
and that's Claudio just had a kid. He's living his best life.
Claudio's like, "Let me drink my coffee, bro. Leave me alone. I'm at home." But yeah, like people are expecting somebody like that, so for them to do the lights out gimmick and it not be what people want, you're kind of killing off lights out gimmicks in the future. I know you're going to do it again because you can't stop, and you can't stop giving out huge announcements type things, but just like relax. It doesn't have to be like that. The homie could have just walked out behind Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and stood there. Same result. It's not as crazy. You know what I mean? Like you could have not. It just, that part turned people off so much that they couldn't get back into it.
And the crowd, the crowd was chanting, "We don't know you," as this was all happening, because I think
we don't know
the crowd, because I think the crowd reaction was expected I don't know what the crowd reaction was expecting.
Yeah, that's the. Yeah,
but
that's...
I think what the crowd was expecting was when the lights came on, it's going to be a big reveal, somebody we know, somebody we're going to pop huge for. The same way that, like, hey, lights out, with lights back on, Malachi, like, that shit, that was huge for them, right?
Nah. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that necessarily that Sanjay, well, not Sanjay, but Satnam is bad. I'm willing to see what Satnam can do. But I just think that if you do things like, say, a matter of factly, like, we're going to go on over an hour, guys, and then you make it such a big deal, and then you do the lights out, it
and when
puts
Tony
all this
Khan
hype
says
behind it. And so once you get Satnam, it's like, oh, that's it. And then that led to people with some pretty gross takes. I felt
horrible takes. That's what bad that came out of it, is people jumping out the window. Like, this isn't about Satnam. This isn't about calling him what other wrestler you saw that looks like him being racist or whatever. It's just like, that moment sucked for sure, but like, that doesn't have anything to do with him. You know what I mean? Like, he was put in a bad position. He's not an awful person because he was put in that bad position. He's not the great Khali because he was put in that bad position. Like, you guys relax.
It's just Now, as for Satnam, I'm
not
going
to be watching any Satnam Singh matches myself. 0%.
I don't have any interest.
I don't know.
I'm willing to wait and see.
I wouldn't put him in matches. For me right now, you know what I would be doing is,
I don't want to see that shit.
And granted, I don't know if this is what's actually happening, but I do know that I do have one in AEW. I have one extremely valuable resource for him. Paul White. That if there's anybody that
that's the guy.
Yeah, that I want to kind of help mold what Satnam Singh can be, I have Paul White.
I'm sure he was the one that molded Khali at this point, you know. So
in
the Big Show.
So I would absolutely.
And Big Show seems so happy and excited to help everyone. Like, just listening to him do commentary on Dark and Dark Elevation, sometimes he's just like so happy to be there, it seems. So I'm sure he's like, yes, let me help. Let me get this guy to where he needs to be.
Oh yeah, and by the way, they were having like a ton of fun at the Dark Elevation tapings in New Orleans. Like, the stuff in between the matches is sometimes more fun than the matches themselves.
Definitely.
Because like Justin Roberts, he likes to have fun, and he was like letting the crowd be the announcers. Where he's like, all right, I'm gonna make y'all announce. He said, all right, you guys know him. He's no BS. And then the crowd goes, Paul White. Paul White comes out, and
that crowd was crazy. You guys were hot. HOTT.
That was a hot crowd. Like, I could not. I mean, I kind of knew it because those tickets had been out for 2 years. People have been holding on to those a long time. And like, I was just kind of talking with people in line and like mingling with people, and like the way they were all talking of like, man, I've been waiting for this show for so long. Like, dude had on a Hybrid 2 shirt that he bought like
oh, man.
He's like, look, I'm trying to cheer my favorite tag team from 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I was
That's hilarious.
Damn, like you have been holding on to this, but I thought about that dude because I was standing next to him in line. I thought about him because Angelico does wrestle on the show, and I was like, "Damn, look at you! You got Angelico."
Game 3.
Like, I would not have.
Jack Evans was there too, or no?
What's that? No,
Jack Evans was. He was not there.
No.
Is he injured? Because we haven't seen him in a while.
He's got to travel from Mexico. So it's
after
like,
those weird those videos that he's posted, have you guys seen the videos where he's like, they're trying to extort me? Those are.
I've seen those, but he's wrestled since those. So like,
yeah, right. I'm like, what is going on, dude? It's weird.
Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, though, the Hardys wrestled on Dark Elevation.
Yeah, there was a pretty hot match on there, right? The Hardys and Top Flight.
Yeah, Hardys and Top Flight, which was funny because the AFO comes out, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I wonder what this match is about to be. And then Top Flight comes out, and I thought, why would Top Flight be the first tag team in a 8-man tag match? Because they're, to me, the star tag team here. And I literally yelled out loud. It just hit me. I'm like, wait, are they tagging with the Hardys? Because that's like the only team I personally, if I were putting teams in order and I want the last build team to be the hottest team, I would have Top Flight be my last team. And I thought there's only one team bigger than Top Flight to me right now. And the Hardys music hits and the crowd fucking loses it.
So the Hardys wrestled on Dark.
Yes, they wrestled on. I would say that this week, and if people try to use it against them, like this week, it's Dark and Dark Elevation, use a lot of the stars. And a big part of the reason why that is because Dark Elevation was taped with Dynamite. Dynamite did not have a Rampage, on that taping. So it was like, okay, we've got all these guys still here. We've got our stars here. We've got to use them. So we're going to use them on Elevation this week. And then it was like the Dark was taped with Rampage, the live Rampage. Rampage is only an hour. So in that case, it was, again, we've got all the talent here, but we're only taping this episode of Rampage and this Battle of the Belts. What do we do with literally everyone else who's here? Dark. So you're going to get like a kind of a star-studded show for both.
That's awesome.
Can I just say that I don't understand fans that are like, oh, it's on YouTube. Look, everybody wrestles dark matches. WWE puts on dark matches.
Romans
Every
had more
single
dark
company
matches than
has dark
on
matches.
TV matches. If you look it up, Romans had more dark matches than he's had on TV matches.
Everybody does dark matches. The only difference is AEW is actually giving you the dark matches on YouTube. What's wrong with getting more content for one thing, and what's wrong with wrestlers getting the reps in? What are you guys mad about?
We don't like reps.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's
so weird. It's just like they're on YouTube. It's like, well, you A, don't have to watch it, and B, that's more content if people want to watch more wrestling.
And C, it's very easy to watch. Why wouldn't you want to? Yeah, it's the YouTube thing is forever. It's going to be a psychological debate.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week in that because I think YouTube's a great resource. I personally think, dude. I personally think AEW isn't using YouTube to the best of their abilities. I think that WWE has their YouTube game down. Their
numbers are crazy.
Their numbers are crazy, and they have YouTube down to a science. Like I said, there are kids in my kids' class who love WWE and only consume it via YouTube. They're like, "What is cable? Why would you wait to watch something when you can just watch it whenever you want?" Like that don't make sense to them at all. It's like
I don't get it. I've known cable for my whole life, and I'm still like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say I watch every single episode of Dark, but if there's a matchup I think is interesting on there, I'll definitely watch it.
Definitely.
That's what it's for.
Somebody I need to support, I'm definitely going to pull it up. Easy.
And I remember Veda, by the way, had this one friend that I was like incredibly impressed by, because not only did she like consume all of her wrestling on YouTube, but she got into like the history of stuff. Because sometimes you end up going down rabbit holes.
Right.
As long as you don't end up on some like flat Earth videos, stay on the rabbit holes. But but she was talking about how like I remember she came over and she was like, "Did you know Naomi used to have a tag team partner?" And I was like, "I did." And she was like, "Yeah, they were like the Funkadactyls," and I was like,
right.
But like, she discovered all this historically. She was just scrolling through, and it was like, wait. You mean to tell me that Naomi had like somebody else with her? That is crazy. And I think about that and how like WWE has had a YouTube account for the last 15 years.
A long time.
There's a lot of content there.
There's a ton.
Yeah, and I mean, man, Candace was over with the catchphrases at one point, man.
Definitely.
Forget that.
Bye. Yeah,
I really like how Impact does with their YouTube page. You can watch like full Impact events on there. Like they'll be like Slammiversary 2012. Here's the whole show, all 3 hours of it. Like YouTube is a huge resource.
And the thing is, Impact was like the first to jump on YouTube to the point of where if you go like all the way back in their account and find like their 2006 uploads and shit, they've got
and semi-check too. Impact
semi-check.
They had the
fucking check.
They had the premiere on YouTube of the the Ron Killings debut of his new hit song,
my favorite,
"What's Up," and it's like the fact that the TNA YouTube still has that up, and then like he took that song with him to WWE, and now I think about it, like him and Cody were like the two guys who had themes elsewhere,
right?
And straight up just took them with them.
I thought you were talking about my other favorite R-Truth video, TNA on Spike TV. Banger
right here for WWE, and we've been waiting for y'all. And we gonna knock your blocks off. Yeah. I know that whole thing by heart. I've seen it so many times.
Why do you know this whole song?
I had watched that so much.
Man, what you know, it's fire.
In 2006, when Ron Killings dropped those diss tracks on WWE, and he's like, and then wait till next week, because we gonna ride on that bitch John Cena. Yeah. And like, I remember that shit
on him.
so vividly. And, like, it all stemmed from the fact that in one rap, John Cena referred to himself as the Truth. Yeah. And it was like,
the Truth is like, hell no, I don't play that.
Yeah, he was like, you can't do that.
Nope.
And I remember that rap too. It was John Cena started off with, it's 2006, the Truth is back, still standing tall in these pumps.
And Truth was like, nah, the Truth is over here in TNA. What you mean the Truth is back? I'm over here.
We're not rocking with that, man.
And then Truth had one of his hottest angles ever with John Cena, man. What's up?
Hey, man.
Yeah,
no,
Ron's the man. Right?
Yeah.
Ron is absolutely the man. Like, no joke.
We need to run that back when he was smoking the cigarette on there. That was hard, man. I love that, man.
So, I know. Ron is a legend, bro.
We did not get enough out of heel R-Truth.
We didn't.
When he turned heel in 2000,
people liked him too much. That's the issue. It's like, we can't keep him heel because people love him so much. But heel Truth was the truth.
I mean, and I always thought he had some of the best responses to the what chant where he turned around and go, don't want me. And like
oh, don't boo me. You should be booing yourself is one of my favorite lines. That's a favorite. That's an R-Truth classic. You should be booing yourselves. I love that. I say that all the time.
A legend, man. From K-Quick all the way up. Just a legend.
Man.
Just a legend.
He's going to be there forever, honestly. Like, they say that about a lot of people, but like, he's only going to leave when he's like, all right, you guys, I'm out of here. Quit. I can't do any more. You guys squeezed all the juice out of me. I'm out.
Yep.
So shout out to Truth. We got to get Truth on Grapsody, man. What's up?
Man. I would love to have Truth on Grapsody.
That would be amazing.
Let's see. We got Graham says, yo, it's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads.
Let's go, baby. Yes.
Love Saturdays. Thank you, Graham.
Yes.
Graham also says,
I wrote that.
If you didn't like seeing you a bot.
Yo.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Look, the con man was letting him have it this week, man.
Yo, man, you should hire that ratio. It's the line.
You should hire this ratio, bro. My guy was not playing. You should hire this ratio. Like, you got to turn your phone off on the other side of that, bro.
I'm sorry. That was really, really funny.
Let's see. It's Isaiah says, bought tickets for the AEW St. Louis show. First time being to an event live.
Oh, sweet.
Have y'all heard anything or are y'all going? Heard TK has big plans. I know that Cher, she's got front row tickets. She got 3 front row tickets. I haven't heard any big plans.
When's that show?
That's June. I think it's the week before the Milwaukee show. So, look.
Every Dynamite for the last however many has been so hot. I just like, you just never know. It could be anything at this point.
Now, I'll tell you what I would do if I were booking this show. I know that so let's put myself in Tony Khan's shoes.
Oh, here we go.
I know that I was supposed to run a pay-per-view at this exact arena in St. Louis, Full Gear. And Full Gear ended up getting canceled. And then, of course, the arena was booked. It ended up getting, there was a UFC show that Saturday, so they tried to move it, but the arena was already booked for the following Saturday, so they ended up moving the show to Minneapolis. So, knowing that I owe St. Louis something big, because they still kept the Rampage there, right? They did that live Rampage in St. Louis, and then Tony Khan, he hit the stage and he said, hey, I promise you guys when we return, it's going to be something big. I also know that Tony Khan did say that they want to run Blood and Guts back. If it were me, and I know that I've got a couple of scenarios right now where I could.
They're getting there with Jericho and Eddie Kingston in them. They could.
I've got there are a number of scenarios where you could run 5-on-5 situations. That's what I would do is give them that dynamite.
I like it.
That's me personally. I don't know what they're actually planning, but if it were me, that's what I would do.
I mean, Fightful Select is probably printing this thing right now saying Will Washington makes show happen.
Don't give me any credit. This is me. You know when like sometimes Meltzer will report something, but then Meltzer will give his opinion, and people are like, "Hey, Meltzer said," and it's like, no, that was him giving an opinion. Like that's his thoughts. This is one of those times, but except I'm actually saying. This is just my idea.
Will just compared himself to Meltzer, so that's where we're at
guys,
today.
Stop doing that, by the way. This whole reporting his opinion and then when it doesn't happen, see, Meltzer's a fraud.
Yeah, the worst.
Stop doing that, guys. Stop it.
The worst.
So that's just what I would do personally.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're actually planning because I know Tony said he does want to run Blood and Guts back this summer. I don't. Unless they've got a way bigger venue plan, because that's the thing is I don't know how big that venue is to have that big ass double cage in there.
And so close to Double or Nothing is kind of what like
it's it's like 4 weeks after Double or Nothing, so it's like I could see that.
Yeah, I guess so.
So Mac says just wanted to show love to the bros. Been a crazy week in Brooklyn with the shootings. Yeah. But it ended so awesome with me joining the Girl Dad Club yesterday.
Oh, congratulations. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to D-Lo. D-Lo got engaged this week, right?
Yeah,
shout out
I
to
saw
the
that.
homie,
Shout out D-Lo.
Gigs. Let's go, baby. That's big news. But yeah, the people of Brooklyn and New York, that's crazy. We're sending love out to all y'all.
Yeah. By the way, rest in peace to my man. Ready is a classic.
Oh my God, that crazy story.
News,
yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
damn, man, it's hard out here.
Yeah, we were just hearing shit all day. But no, seriously, with Brooklyn, for those who know that about me, that I survived a mass shooting 10 years ago. One of the most prolific ones. I
didn't even know that about you till when we were in Florida. I was like, "What? You did what?" And you told me the whole story, and I'm like, "Bro, you were there. That's crazy."
A big part of my story.
It's
just a big part of my history now is that I went to see The Dark Knight Rises, and for those who don't know where I live in Aurora, Colorado. That's where that shooting took place. I was at that theater. So like I have some like huge PTSD moments when it comes to that, and I was extremely triggered by that, by everything that happened in Brooklyn, and I just want to say that I recognize what anybody who was a victim of that might be feeling right now, and just know it's okay if it continues to stay with you forever, because it is something that's going to haunt you for a long time, and it is okay to talk to somebody about that, and I do recommend it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there in Brooklyn. And again, rest in peace to man Archie Eversole.
Yes. Joseph says, tuning in late. Hope y'all having a good weekend.
So far, it's pretty chill.
Yeah. I've been awake 2 hours.
I'm going to watch some basketball today. It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Playoff basketball.
A lot of wrestling going on tonight.
Oh, it's a lot of wrestling. Wrestling never stops, honestly.
Wrestling never.
I watched a little bit of the Hog show, House of Glory, last night. Shout out to Hog, the homie, one of my favorite wrestlers of all the times. Amazing Red made his comeback. He was in this. They have like a 6-man scramble championship. He ended up losing it to Casey Navarro. Shout out to Casey Navarro, great talent. But Amazing Red is back. He looked great. Need him and his cousins, the SAT, to do a trios match. A couple of them. I got a couple people y'all could wrestle. Namely the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Get back Kenny Omega. Let's do this. Bring him in. Bring Red in for a one shot or something, Tony Khan, honestly, because like it's fucking Red. He's part of the reason why your company exists. The things that he did, like people in your company took what he did and made your company. So shout out to Amazing Red, one of the greatest of all time, most influential pro wrestlers in the history of the pro wrestling. Standing shooting star press, the code Red, like you see this guy's moves honestly, he has videos of him hitting Canadian destroyers in 1996. So this guy's the guy. Shout out to Amazing Red.
Yeah, you know what though? I mentioned on Day After Dynamite this week. Speaking of legends to bring in, because I was thinking, the story on Dynamite has been that the Jericho Appreciation Society has had the numbers advantage on everybody in Eddie Kingston's group.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, so who does he bring in to even the odds? And like my brain immediately goes
Homicide
and Hernandez. And I thought there's a couple of reasons I would bring in Homicide. For one, you own Ring of Honor now, and if there's you've been honoring all the legends. You've been honoring CM Punk. You've been honoring Bryan Danielson. Samoa Joe is the TV champion right now. But, like, I do feel... And you're honoring Jay Lethal in a big way. Well, and I feel like if there's any other name that belongs in that conversation for Legends of Ring of Honor, it's Homicide, who has appeared on AEW television
He
before.
was the one to beat Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson's legendary Ring of Honor title reign was ended by Homicide. So bring in Homicide. He's amazing.
Homicide
he could be in that. If they do that blood and guts match, Homicide needs to be in that match.
Right. Homicide showed up at Grand Slam, correct?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
He got a nice little moment. Eddie Kingston, like, it was hot. I love Homicide.
Yeah,
but honestly, I think Homicide is an NWA. I think he's still the junior heavyweight champion. Also, shout out to him. And I might be interviewing Homicide too. So y'all talk to your boys. I'm trying to talk to your guy for the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, as they say. Let's go.
Yep. Hey, Thomas says,
also, Impact, send my check and reply to my emails, y'all people over there. We're trying to get some business done. Impact Wrestling. I don't want to say the dude's name on air, but you know who you are, bro. No, honestly, dude, just respond to my email. I don't know why. Like, I'm trying to get this interview with Rich Swann, Willie Mack. I'm saying it out loud because I want it to happen. Rich Swann and Willie Mack. I'm trying to get this interview. If you would just respond to my email, we can make it happen, and everything can be nice.
Man. Moons is in the sky, man.
That's what
Wale would say. Moons is in the sky.
Easy as that.
I'm trying to get the Humpers to give me a moment. I decided
because
I get them passed to me every week that I get kicked out of the Humpers, and I'm like, you know what?
Yes, that's who I'm talking about. Whoever's tweeting from whoever's talking about the Fightful Wrestling, that's who I'm talking about. That person right there. That's his name in the chat. That's him.
Yes.
He will not respond to anybody's stuff. That's him.
I literally just I just DM'd Sean at this point because I'm like, look, I gotta get my Humpers back. So
yes, SRS, that's who I'm talking about. Him, yes, help me.
Come on, man. The homie from Chicago, if I remember correctly.
Just email me back, bro. Jay.
Yes. And thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, we got more to read. Thomas says, another week with my favorite crew. Only now I'm an uncle for the first time. Hopefully the cool uncle. Hey, congratulations.
Let's go. My favorite thing in the world has been, my cousin has a bunch of kids. When he has birthday parties, I love being that uncle that's just there with all the vices, being, that uncle, like, oh, there he is. He has drinks. He has this. He has this. That's me. It's the best. Being that uncle is phenomenal. It's fun. Especially when you don't have to go home to your own kids because you don't have any kids.
Oh my God.
Hey, but the caveat to that, being the cool uncle can sometimes lead to you having kids. For example, I was the cool uncle for a little bit.
Hold on a minute.
And my wife, when we were dating at the time, she was just like, wow, he's so good with kids.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
yeah, no, I don't show it in frnt of nobody that's gonna like it.
Nah, man.
When somebody's around that I think is gonna like it, I just push the kids on the ground. I'll just be the worst. I'm like, get away from me, you little motherfucker. No, I don't got $1 for you.
Yeah.
Trick love the kids like William Washington do. William Washington had his kid bring down the omelet today. That's a flex. I need that. Honestly, I'm gonna be a dad now just because I want that moment right now. Bring me an omelet.
Yes, man. I know that omelet was bomb. I know everybody got to sit and watch me eat it. But
look, our show is about family. We've had the infamous people on this show already in Will Washington's family. So we're just gonna keep it going. Veda's gonna be an actress extraordinaire and she's gonna look back on this clip and be like, "That's when I debuted. I debuted on Grapsody, and from that day on, this is when I won my Oscar." So she's gonna, when she wins her Oscar, she's gonna be like, "I want to give it up to Grapsody for giving me this moment. If I didn't bring that omelet down to my dad, this would have never happened."
I'm telling you, man, Veda and her friend are gonna end up on Fightful Overbooked OD podcast, and she's gonna be like, "Did you guys know that Funkasaurus was a thing?"
That's hella funny.
Yes. So, good news.
Great news.
Good news. Hold up.
How is it not automatically logged in with Washington? How does this happen?
It's not that I'm not logged in. It's that when I log in, all of a sudden they're not there anymore.
What the heck, you guys?
So let's see.
SRS trying to sabotage our show, huh?
There we
see
go.
What's going on here.
I
SRS.
got them. And now they are here. All right.
And now they are here.
Yes. So, all right. I always
Trick Daddy is ridiculous. He's very ridiculous.
Yes.
He had a run though, man.
No, Trick for the kids, man. I love that.
Mayonnaise
Mayonnaise sandwich. Yeah, that production on that song, "Baby, 'Cause I'm a Thug," is hard. Like, I would rap on that song. That's a dope beat.
Van Twinblade says, "Give me your best announcer voice when you read this."
Let's go.
Friends, nerds, marks of all ages, I bring glorious news. Sunday, April 24th at 5 p.m. Central on YouTube at Glory Pro Live. You can watch Glory Pro Live at the pageant as it's happening. # Team Ambition.
Listen, man. Hey, y'all gotta send the checks, bro. I'm just
send the checks, man.
Y'all gotta send the checks and fly your boys out and get my man on announcing. Get us on commentary. Come on, man.
We can do it all.
Make it happen.
Do it all. We can and will do it all.
Cut the checks, bro.
But yeah, Life of Deem says, "Happy Saturday, Grapsody family. Great interview with Nyla, and the Grapsody invitation tag on Wednesday was fire."
We're getting to it, baby. The Grapsody Invitational is definitely coming up. Don't worry.
I want to see Swerve and Keith tag more often. Well, I have good news for you. And D-Lo Diggs says, "What up, Graps fam? Hope y'all had a good week. Love that Nyla interview. Also, I don't know what's been worse, the name change or the lack of women's matches in AEW."
Name change. Which name change?
I'm guessing just like the WWE name changes.
What? I would say the I don't know. The last 2 weeks of women's matches on Dynamite have definitely been disappointing.
Yes,
and
I
that
agree.
They've been just straight up squashes.
Yes,
and I feel like
when you have Tony Storm and Ruby Soho and Red Velvet and all these great talented people, it kind of, I feel you. I understand. I get it.
Yeah, it's a little glaring because I did think the Ruby match with the Renegade Twins, one of the Renegade Twins, this week on Rampage was a lot better than the match on Dynamite.
Yes.
And I did think people were very hard on the match on Dynamite.
Yes.
People were... I just will never like this idea of people that don't watch the match taking a GIF out of it and going, "Oh, this match was so horrible because this part of it was bad." And it's like, you got to watch these things in context, man. And that's not to say that I think that match was amazing, but I just don't like. I don't like the idea of you going, "We need more women's matches, support the women," and then also dumping on the women at the same time.
Yeah, and also
I think that match would have been fine. I think that match would have been fine as an addendum to another match, but when that was the only women's match on the show, I think that, to me, I
agree with that point.
A bigger problem.
Yes.
That I would have rather seen something else there.
If we got 3 women matches on the show, that's fine. But if there's one women's match on the show and it's that, then I see it. Yeah.
Right. I get what they're trying to do as far as, presenting Marina and, I just think that the way they did it wasn't the best. I think having her come out and her entrance was very okay. And then even at the end, it was just her staring at the camera and I was like, okay, that happened. And that's not to say that I think Marina is bad. I just think the way they presented her wasn't great.
Right.
Yeah, but I also hate that what you were saying about how people are being like, this is a bad match, and like every match isn't going to be Sasha and Bailey. Every match isn't going to be a 5-star classic. Every single wrestler doesn't have chemistry. Some matches are going to be gritty. Some matches are going to be rough. Some matches are going to be like there's a real fight going on because it's pro wrestling. There's a variety. It all isn't just, Will Ospreay and Ricochet doing flips. It all isn't just deathmatch wrestling. It all isn't just, whatever it is. Everything is different. Every single match could be different. Every single wrestler is different. So, like, you guys relax. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, if it's just support the women, then come on, man. Don't bash the women when they're getting reps.
Wasn't the best match I've ever seen, no, but like it's wrestling, man. Calm down.
Yeah. I would have rather seen just
put more women's wrestling on the show. Honestly, that's it. That's pretty much where we're gonna end up. Yeah, it's easy. You got a bunch of talented women back there, like a lot of them. So like,
right.
Put them on
and there's one vision I see, and I'm excited for, and that is the fact that I can start to see what's happening with this the Owen Hart tournament and how the one thing I feel like AEW has done really well with when it comes to women's wrestling is tournaments. I think that they have kind of, other than the tag team tournament, which like I get what the tag team tournament was. The tag team tournament was really hey, we're kind of out of women, so like let's see, because in this pandemic kind of everybody's either stuck in Japan or stuck in another country, so let's see what we can get out of basically inviting people here.
I enjoyed the tag tournament. Sorry. I mean, it gave us Tay Conti. I know Tay Conti is unpopular with folks now, but Tay was great in that tournament.
That got her signed. Yeah, but that's what that was for. It was basically like, let's get as many. Let's see what we can do to replenish the roster and see what we can get out of this. And Tay Conti got signed out of that.
Yeah.
Why
didn't
also
you guys
Diamante
sign Nicole Savoy, by the way?
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys do that? That was the one to sign.
And Diamante came in from that as well. But and then
I feel like when we watch this tournament in totality, we'll be like, that was dope. But it's going to be spaced out.
It's getting there. Because
the women's eliminator tournament was dope. And then also the TBS title tournament was really amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think looking at the lineup for the Owen and how it does seem like it is going to be very different from the TBS title tournament, I don't know. I'm encouraged by that, and I actually am excited to see what they end up doing.
It's just like we just need more of it. Like
we just need more. They could have done. They could have done another qualifier, to be honest. Because looking at it, we're kind of running out of time for qualifiers because the tournament's supposed to start in
at some point between Dynamite and Rampage. They could have ran another tournament match.
Because how many women are in the tournament now? 4, I think.
Tony, Ruby,
Red Velvet,
and Jamie Hayter. And so, if there's 4 in right now in the tournament, I guess there's technically time. Because I was going to say there's 1, 2, 3.
Where are they trying to get to?
There's
8, right?
So they need to get 8 in the tournament. And there's 6 episodes of TV between now and when the tournament starts.
Britt's got a qualifying match next week.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only one they've announced since.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree that they can handle the women's stuff better on Dynamite. The only thing is, the thing happens on Twitter where I feel like there are some people that have great points about why there should be more women on television.
Yep.
And there are people that genuinely care about women's wrestling, and there are people that try to take that conversation and take it somewhere else. And I feel like that's the problem with all kinds of discourse on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of people that took that. It was like there's not enough black wrestlers on TV. Now that there's black wrestlers on TV, it has flipped to there's not enough women's wrestlers. They just want something. I hate when people say this, but they're just legit trying to find something to complain about, which sucks.
There are 100% people that don't care about AEW's programming. That just want to complain.
Not at all. Yeah.
So, got a couple more super chats. Evil Diva 1978 says, "I'm going to the 5-4 show in Baltimore. This will be my first live AEW show. Super pumped." It's funny. I feel like. Let's shout out True God. He was really trying to manifest that one because like every week he was posting like, "Hey, when are they coming back to Baltimore? When are they coming back to Baltimore?" And literally like the day after he had said that, they announced AEW returning to Baltimore.
Man.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like Baltimore has not been hurting for wrestling. Like they had full gear.
Should I tweet about like them coming to the Cow Palace like every single day or something? Like, I don't know. I want to manifest some shit too if that's the case. Like, I don't want to have to drive all the way to LA to see some shit. Like, come to the Cow Palace. People like that venue. It's awful over there, but still, it'll be a fun time.
It's awful over there.
There's something about getting in or something. People don't like it. I don't know.
It's Isaiah said, how much to get Grapsody 2 times a week? We need more. I know people. I will say this. I really liked how we did that interview, and this is just me talking out loud. I really liked the Nyla Rose interview, and how we kind of did that separately from the show. And I think just especially because there's always so much to talk about. There may come a point where we do interviews just separately from the show, and then so at least on interview weeks you may get something 2 times like the content. So
and saying money like that just reminded me of something. The homie, a legendary figure, somebody that has given me tons, millions, gazillions of laughs. The real superstar Virgil has fallen on hard times. He said since he came back from Dallas, Texas, he's been having issues. Apparently, he went to the doctor. They said he's had 2 strokes that he didn't even know about just because he's a pro wrestler and wrestlers don't care about anything and check on anything. So yeah, he's fallen on some super hard times. He needs some help. If you could donate to Virgil, find Virgil, prayers up to Virgil. He has given me legit so many laughs. I remember seeing him at a wrestling convention, and he will legit force you to purchase something. You don't like, if you talk to him, you're gonna buy something, but it's like in a good endearing way because it's Virgil. Like he has a picture with like Bret Hart, British Bulldog, Roddy Piper, and Virgil, and it's like none of these people are here, but he's here, and you're gonna buy this picture. So shout out to Virgil, $1 million champion. Prayers up, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was sad to hear that. Didn't he say that he's it's like the onset of dementia or something?
Yeah, early onset dementia was also what he said about it.
So definitely prayers up to him.
Oh man. Rough.
I
want to do like a Virgil, like if I can, I want to legit start doing Twitch streams eventually when I get my computer or whatever, and I want to do like a 24-hour Virgil-thon or something because like Virgil,
what?
Bro.
Wait,
24-hour Virgil-thon, man. Let's go.
What will this entail? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm on here like willing and dealing. We're just making money for Virgil, Phil. Come on. Shout out to Virgil. And rest in peace to Virgil.
Next story.
Virgil-thon.
Windy City Riot. Let's talk about it.
We are out here in the city of Chicago. Well,
are you pulling up
in Villa Park? I am pulling up. I will be there.
Wee, hot, man. Both of the guys had hot shows this week. Let's go,
man. A lot of stuff going on today. I mean, it's not just Windy City. I think Mission Pro's running a show as well, which will be on Title Match Network.
Let's go.
I think there's another women's show in Chicago. I only knew that because Queen Aminata said that she will be wrestling on that card.
Oh, let's go.
At first she was like, I'll be in Chicago. And I was like, wait, you pulling up to New Japan? What's going on? But no, she's doing a women's wrestling show in the city. But yeah, this card looks amazing. The main event sounds awesome. It's going to be Mox versus Will Ospreay. First time matchup. Can't beat that.
Super hot.
US of J.
He's been trying to manifest that for a while, so
yeah.
Super excited for that main event. US of J.
I'm excited about the US of J challenge because the last time there was a big one, we kind of had a little insight. So it's going to be interesting to see who this one is with no insight.
No speculation. I'm going in waiting to be surprised at who he's going to wrestle. Bullet Club is also going to wrestle. Your boy Chris Bay.
Woo, CB. Shout out to my bro CB out in the building. Is that the one with Scott Norton?
It is. I will be. I will be there to support as honorary good brother. Support the hoops.
The good feel.
Man, Tom Lawler is in action. He's gonna wrestle Blue Justice, Yuji Nagata. It's not a title match, but man,
big fight.
Really excited for that match. I've got Minoru Suzuki, of course, still doing his U.S. title run. Well, not U.S. title run, but U.S. run, and he's gonna wrestle Tomohiro Ishii.
Oh my godness, they are gonna beat each other.
Come on, man.
It's a fight. It's a fight. It's a big fight. Bald head brawl. Suzuki with the finger waves. I think about that all the time.
Suzuki with the finger waves.
She said, "Does he have finger waves?" Oh man, that made me cry. I love it. It's one of my favorite moments. That happened. We were at Ring of Honor. Friend behind us was like asking if Suzuki had finger waves.
Hey man, shout to Keeks. Wasn't Keeks, but I think that was Keeks' friend. Is that?
Yeah,
might have been sister. I don't know.
Yeah.
Please let us know. Who was that?
Yeah. Shout out to her though. That's I think about that line legit every single time I see Suzuki, and I see him like 5 times a day now. So thank you. Great moment.
Man, you got Finn Juice is also in action with Brody King. I think they're wrestling Jonah. And
this is a huge card, bro. This is like
huge card.
Wow.
But yeah, and actually, I think Finn is finishing up his time with New Japan as well. So
yeah, I saw that. There's a story this week that said he's like, I'm good here. Like I don't want to wrestle.
Robinson.
Yeah, I don't want to wrestle anymore. I got a hot ass wife. I'm out of this. I'm gone. I'm good. I'm good here. I'm out.
Yeah, but no, Juice is going to be finishing up his time there. And when I think of Juice, you mentioned Cal Palace earlier.
Mm-hmm.
First time I saw him wrestle live was at Cal Palace. That was at that New Japan show versus Jay White for the U.S. Title.
Funny enough, that show happened, and just so happened I happened to be going on a cruise to Mexico, and I didn't go. Like, what? Why am I going on a cruise at the same time at this Cow Palace show? Every time there's a big Cow Palace show, something dumb like that would happen. Like, I'm on a cruise.
Cody
I'm out of there.
Omega.
I didn't see it. Yep, I was on a cruise. I was over waters in a fucking dumbass boat. Unreal.
Man, I like cruises.
Not over Cody and fucking Kenny
I've
Omega.
done that. Was it the? You said you took a cruise to Mexico, so it was out of California. Was it just like the like Ensenada, or like it's like Baja California? Okay.
Yeah. That was fun, but not really.
No,
I'd rather go to like a resort, like that same thing, but not on a boat.
I've done 2 cruises at this point in my life, and I'm kind of like, all right, you've done one.
Like I like everything about it, but not being on the boat. So like, I'll just go to a resort in Mexico. Way more fun, I think.
Yeah, but no. So that was a great night because that was the night that Firing Squad actually kicked them out of Bullet Club, and that was great. I remember leaving that night, and that was also the night that Brock came out to that UFC fight, and they had like that whole back and forth. Great night.
Oh yeah, he got the promo. Yeah, I remember that.
Mr. Good.
What a night.
Hot show. That's gonna be that's gonna be dope, man. And there's some things looming. There could be some extra surprises that nobody even knows about also. So yeah.
Hey man, shout out to that. If they announce that show tonight,
you gonna cry?
No, I don't know if I'm gonna cry, but I'm just gonna be like, man, what's the haps? How can I get behind scenes to interview?
You know how you would already we met in in Texas, you talked to the plug, Rocky Romero. Hey, Rocky, what's up? How about your boy? You got to say it out loud because SRS is going to send the email. Come on, that's how it works.
I saw Rocky I saw Rocky in New Orleans, and he was like, "Man, you are everywhere." Because I saw Rocky in LA. Yeah, I saw Rocky in LA, and then of course saw him in Texas. I think did we see him in Orlando? Maybe. But then saw him in New Orleans, and he was just like, everywhere I've been,
Rocky is everywhere.
Rocky's the man, bro.
Man, he's
Rocky
he has a crazy schedule.
Rocky has been so kind to me, and I've met Rocky 4 times, and the second time I ever met him, the fact that he remembered anything about me was where he's like, "Yeah, you're from Denver, right?" I was like, "Yeah." It's crazy.
Yeah, everybody that I hear that talks with Rocky says he's like the best dude. So I see why he's in the position that he's in, because like people just want him to win, and he just wants everybody to win. Most importantly,
super cool dude, man.
Yeah.
So some cool information has leaked in the last couple of weeks, and it is WWE's heel and face rankings, to which we have seen kind of where people stand on the roster. Now, these have leaked in the past before, but it's always fun to have them in real time and to know who the top baby faces and heels are on each brand right now. Case in point, the number 1 babyface on Monday Night Raw currently is Bobby Lashley. He's currently ranked as the number 1 babyface. And Cody Rhodes is currently slotted as the number 2 babyface, although I don't see how that is. Because he really does feel like number 1. I feel like he's number 1.
Yeah, no, I don't. When I heard about that, I'm like, I fucks with you, Bob Lashley, but Cody is definitely number 1.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess it is just he's the top babyface right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I think like at this point, it's really hard to deny. I think it's just because Bobby's always in position, like. Yeah. He's gonna hover in that 1, 2, 3 spot no matter what, like on either side of the heel face coin. So That's just what it is. But yeah, I think at this point, Cody Rhodes is the talk of the town for pretty much everybody in the wrestling world. So he has to be the number one guy. They're setting him up for greatness. I would think so. But, things could change.
Great American Bash. That's what they're
setting him up for the Great American Bash.
But no, I get the thinking behind that because they have protected Bobby throughout his run.
Very protected.
Champion. And
very protected.
I mean, even the way he lost the Elimination Chamber. So it makes sense that I'm assuming that at some point he's going to be, the number one contender for one of those titles.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is so the number 3 babyface is AJ Styles. So that's currently how it's ranked on Monday Night Raw. It is number 1 Bobby Lashley, number 2 Cody Rhodes, number 3 AJ Styles.
I'm not mad at it.
And these rankings.
Where's Seth?
He's a heel, Seth, of course, on the heel side. Yeah. And on the heel side, the top heel is listed as Seth Rollins. Well, that's the thing. Like, Roman Reigns is still not considered a part of Monday Night Raw. They basically have said Monday Night Raw just don't have a champion right now. And I think
so. They really don't know what they're doing with these championships at all. They're confused.
No, they don't.
They're not. I believe that Meltzer quote from February where he was saying they're not unified. They're probably going to end up dropping one of those titles and it's going to end up back on Raw. I really believe
gotcha.
That.
Yeah. Okay,
but I don't.
This is just a big match for WrestleMania. Brock and Roman. They're going to forget about it soon.
Roman is still SmackDown. As a matter of fact, because he was at Raw this week, but he was not on Raw. He wrestled a dark match, but he was at that show. But there seems to be kind of an adamant move of he is the WWE champion, but he's not gonna be focused on Monday Night Raw at all. And I think that's very interesting. But yeah,
interesting.
The top heels on Raw are listed as Seth Rollins at number 1, Kevin Owens at number 2, and then Edge and Damian Priest are listed as one unit on Monday Night Raw.
Interesting.
And so it's it kind of feels like Damian Priest is ranked highly, but it's not really.
It's because he's attached to Edge.
He's attached to Edge. Edge is the number 3.
But that means that Edge is going to kind of start to take a back. Edge is not going to be doing a lot of matches is what is going on here.
Yeah. And on SmackDown, the top babyface is Drew McIntyre, and the top heel is obviously Roman Reigns.
Who's under Drew?
Doesn't
Ricochet?
say. But yeah, probably Ricochet. I think
Ricochet.
That story came out just a couple weeks ago that he was.
I love my man Ricochet, but who
else is it if it's not Ricochet?
It's bleak over there.
God,
it's looking real Memphis bleak over there, bro.
Shinsuke, yeah, I could believe Shinsuke.
And then that's on the men's side. On the women's side, the top.
Bianca's top.
The top babyface is Bianca Belair. Yeah. The number 2, which I find really interesting because she's not around, is Alexa Bliss. Now, granted, she's got married.
She's a face?
Huh?
Yeah, that was a babyface thing. Last time we saw was Elimination Chamber, but they were treating her like a babyface at Elimination Chamber.
Even when she was doing the doll stuff, that's
all that
video.
Yeah, I think everything her videos coming back, everything coming back has been babyface.
Yeah, I think that was all to build her up as a face.
Right.
So Alexa Bliss is ranked as the number 2 babyface.
But that's interesting that they're not doing. Where is she?
Yeah. Well, she just got married, and it was a huge wedding. She had NSYNC perform at her wedding. It was and she got to be an honorary member since obviously Justin Timberlake ain't doing her wedding. But
whose wedding? Hell no. I might show up to Bianca Belair's wedding, but not Alexa Bliss.
But she had everybody, and she got to perform with them and at her own wedding. I will say the videos I looked at of Alexa Bliss's wedding looked like a fucking spectacle. Miz got an actual ring introduction as he makes his way.
I saw that part with Nia. Lena.
So it looked like
they paid some money for NSYNC.
I know, right?
Shit, they gave it up.
But yeah, and then the number 3 babyface. The number 3 babyface is Rhea Ripley, who, of course,
it looks like they're setting her up to be a heel. Is the funny part.
That's so interesting that they consider her higher. They consider Alexa higher than Rhea.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
But everything that Rhea's doing now, they're setting her up to be the top heel. It looks like they're setting her up.
They're definitely going to turn her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm confused about everything now.
And then the top 3 heels on Monday Night Raw on the women's side are Becky Lynch, Carmella, and Zelina.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, they've got to turn somebody else too. They've got to turn somebody else too.
Please hurry up.
Hey man, no shade to Carmella and Selena, but I feel like if you're gonna put somebody else under Becky Lynch, like that gap is pretty large.
That's huge. That's a giant gap.
Yeah, shout out PW Insider is where this information came from. And
I was looking at the salaries last night of like Vince, and bro made some bank last year. I mean, jeez Louise.
I was worried when you said we got to talk about leaks. I was like, oh no, is he talking about those names that got leaked? I
don't know.
You guys ever seen those?
No, what names? What are you talking about?
What is this?
I saw something like Katana Chance or something like that. Or...
Oh, you're talking about the names. The names
that got registered.
Who is Katana Chance?
They haven't said yet. Some people think it's Io Shirai. I hope that's not true.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be not so great. Well, mainly because like I don't understand a lot of the name changes for a couple of reasons. One, because they're gonna pick and choose. Because I talked last week about, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but I talked 2 weeks ago about how Cody is kind of showing that there's leverage now in signing from AEW. And I do feel like you are better off jumping from AEW to WWE than you are getting called up from NXT, because it's almost like you should probably detour.
Right.
And I say that
seriously.
Because if you are somebody who is a free agent and WWE is interested in you, you do have the leverage to be able to say, well, I want to keep my name, I want to keep my music, I want to keep all of this, or you don't get me, and I'm going to stay with AEW. Whereas, like, if they're like, all right, you're getting called up from NXT, and you said to them, I want to keep my name, I want to keep my music, I want to keep my look, they just look at you and go, no, you already work for us. Yeah. You have no leverage.
We got you.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I think there's such a weird conversation about these name changes because I think people misunderstand what people are. I don't even like the word upset. The thing that people are criticizing about the name changes, because a name change isn't bad in theory, but if you've got somebody,
I don't know, theory is a pretty bad one.
On paper, changing somebody's name is not bad. But if you've got somebody that's like Walter, who has been around forever, and like he's created all this interest in himself as Walter, why would you change that? You signed him to be Walter. Why would you not just let him be Walter? And Io Shirai is Io Shirai. Like, she is a legend over in Japan.
Some of them just
why would you change that?
Sense. I get it. I understand why you're doing it, but it's like, why would you do it? But branding, licensing, money. I get it.
Right, and I should say, of course, we don't know that they're changing Io Shirai's name. They're
definitely going to change.
That's just the word going around. But if you sign somebody as big as Io Shirai was, you don't change her name. Like, she came in as a big star. You don't need to change anything.
I feel like if you're going to change their name, change them from RIP. Start changing them in NXT. Don't bring them at NXT as their name. Just like change them as soon as you get them. Like Asuka. Because look at Asuka. Asuka turned it around. She wasn't always Asuka, and like she's Asuka.
Yeah. That's why I said name changes aren't always bad.
Yeah. Like, so that's the issue I have, is that you're essentially kind of hurting people's investment in NXT, because that was a big problem I had with NXT to begin with. And I'm talking about Black and Gold NXT, was that I was having a hard time staying invested in the show when the call-ups were bombing so bad.
You're just going to change it anyways. I get it. Yeah,
because I was like, okay,
hard to stay invested.
Yeah, why would I invest in this when you're not investing in it? When it's like, okay, I'm into this character, I'm into this, then you call it up and bomb it. And people would argue me, and they'd say, well, don't worry about any of that. Just worry about what's happening in NXT in itself. And it's like, but none of that's long-term, right? Because they're only going to be here for a short amount of time before the majority of their career is going to take place on the main roster. And if on the main roster, like, why would I get, in hindsight, why would I have gotten invested in Keith Lee on NXT when I know that the long-term, what happened with him didn't work out?
All right.
And then, so I don't know what 2.0 call-ups are actually going to look like, although LA Knight isn't giving a good sign for that either.
No, a bad sign. Damn, LA Knight.
But I do
What's
feel
going on
like
with LA Knight?
They made him into a manager is what they're trying. Yeah, he's a manager.
He's going to be managing Mace. They did it on he worked a dark match on SmackDown last night
as a manager.
He is now, and that was rumored for a few weeks that he was going to be a manager, and that sounded so
exactly what they did with
LA
Adam
Knight?
Cole.
Like, why though?
I thought that LA Knight was a slam dunk. Honestly, when I used to see him as Eli Drake. I was like, this guy's going to be a huge star in WWE.
Yeah, but honestly, I saw that story, and that was one of those times I'm like, that can't be real. When it was like, okay, LA Knight's going to be working as a manager on the main roster, and I thought, no way. Why would you do that?
Like, bro, he has designed his whole career to be a WWE wrestler. Like, what is going on here?
He fits their aesthetic perfectly. Like, he's got a great look. He's got a great build. He's got the WWE name now.
This is what you guys want. What is it?
I like Mace. Dio, he is a solid performer. But
I like Mace too. What you know about going out headway?
Bad boy. Honestly, if you're gonna get a manager, his name is Malcolm Bivens, bro. You have a manager. Bring him up for Mace. You need a manager for Mace? He's right fucking here, Malcolm Bivens. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, but LA Knight is managing. But I guess that's my point here is that so far, even 2.0 call-ups. But then again, I guess LA Knight was on Team Black and Gold, so like he's still
considered a black and gold guy.
Even though he was there for like 3 months.
He's not a black and gold guy.
But either way, so far, I just feel like changing the names of guys that are like actively on a show that you watch or that they promote, it's like, hey, watch this show, but also it's kind of like not canon to this show. That just kind of rubs me the wrong way. But like I said, I feel like guys who are coming over, or guys who might potentially come over from AEW, they have all the leverage as far as keeping anything they want. Like Cody Rhodes,
is going to be a smoldering hot take for some people, boy.
I feel like they're going to have a lot more leverage than somebody getting called up to the point of where because the reason is they're not in a position with anything to lose. Like they don't need WWE. WWE essentially has to roll the red carpet out for them because it's like, what do you have to give me? You traveling around the country, performing in front of big crowds. I have that. Like, what do you have to offer me? You have nothing for me if you're going to take away my name, if you're going to take away anything I've built for myself. And I think this is an interesting time that we live in. I want to read some of these supers and humpers. We have Shot Kid says, no question, just wanted to support one of my favorite podcasts out there. Psyched for Rebellion.
Thank you.
Be there to see Ishii and Jonah kill each other.
That's going to be awesome.
Man, no, that card for Rebellion does look really good.
Yeah,
excited
really
for
good
the show.
Send my check.
Yes. And then so I guess everybody was telling me that Sheeta had also qualified. Of course, she's my favorite wrestler.
Oh, right.
Sheeta qualified. She beat Julia Hart.
Yeah.
So we're almost there actually. If there's 5 qualified,
pretty close.
She'll be
Britt's gonna be 6.
There's only gonna be 2 after that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Cool.
And Graham B says, "You want more Grapsody? Watch Day After Dynamite."
That's a fact.
I do like doing Day After Dynamite. That show is fun, and it's really just time for me to talk about shit that happened the night before. And I had a lot to talk about because I was there the night before. Pam
really good card,
says it's going to be my first it's going to be my first ever wrestling show. Going by myself, but so excited. Good, I enjoy it.
I go to wrestling shows by myself all the time. It's fine.
Come on, man.
Hey,
I have so much fun.
I had a weird question, and maybe it's just because she's old. But do you guys as parents still leave you voicemails? Because
my mom usually just texts.
Mine does not.
Okay, that's probably a thing.
I just missed the call, and now I have a voicemail that I have to listen to. I hate voicemails. Nobody, why leave me voicemails?
Yeah, come on, man. This conversation about being an uncle. So I've been an uncle for, it's crazy enough, 17 years at this point. So my niece just turned 17 on Sunday, and I called
crazy,
her, and she's like out and about, I guess. I'm like, oh man, she's busy for her uncle. So I left.
She's like, yo, don't call here, Unc. I'm out in the street.
Nah, I ain't trying to link. No. I left a voicemail, and I was like, yo, just call me back when you get a chance. And so, yeah, I guess. But to answer that question, my dad doesn't ever send me voicemails. Like, I feel like if I miss him, he just like he'll text me another time.
He's busy.
My
mom will just tweet me too, also. So
no, my mom will.
On Twitter? What's going on?
My mom's definitely on Twitter. Yeah.
And I don't know. My mom is just like a, and they're always the same voicemail. It's always just, hey, does anyone want anything? Just call me back. I know what she called for. She can say, hey, what are Easter plans tomorrow? What are we doing? When are we meeting?
Is Easter tomorrow?
Yep.
It is. Come on, you heathen. What's going on?
Sorry, Adam.
I know exactly what's
going on. Like Ramadan's going on. Come on, man.
All
the religions are uniting.
None for me. Sorry.
Yeah, I know what she's calling about. She's like, hey, we meeting up for brunch. What are we doing? What time? I know this call. I've been getting this every year since I've been an adult out of the house, which has been a long time.
Yeah, not to be a downer. My mother hasn't called me in years because my mother passed away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I knew that. That's why I said parents.
Yeah.
But it's Isaiah said, can we talk about how we are getting Swerve versus Athena tonight?
Yes, we
spoiled
can.
right now.
That is happening tonight.
Swerve's house. Wrestling Revolver.
House.
Tanizite. Swerve and Athena are going to go for it. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Athena just had a banger last night with Taya. She's going to be tired tomorrow.
Aaron says, maybe see you tonight, Phil. Stoked for Ishii
man.
versus Suzuki. Any guesses to Jay White's opponent?
Hey, if you see me, too sweet me in these streets, bro.
Let's go.
No, stop by and say what's up if you see me, bro. For real.
Honestly, I have no idea. It could be anybody. I don't really know.
I
New
wonder
Japan.
if it would.
They could bring out somebody from New Japan. Like it could be somebody from America. Like it could be. I don't know. They have a lot of options.
Shanika, hold on. I got to give Shanika's joke out. She said, going to start calling Will Visa because he's everywhere I want to be. And then she said, I just dated myself. But I remember that, actually.
I absolutely remember that.
Yeah, never forget. Visa.
It's everywhere you want
Yes, come on.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Graham says,
Next, they're going to be a 10-10-3-2-1 joke, maybe.
Or 10-10-220.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Or 1-800 call ATT.
Okay, we're dating. Yes, we're old. We're sorry, everybody young in the chat.
And the funny thing is, I only know all these brands because they used to sponsor wrestling events.
Wrestling,
right?
it's all wrestling.
It's like WrestleMania 19 sponsor or 1-800-COLLECT presents the Royal Rumble 2000.
Those Lugs commercials.
Oh, Lugs, man.
Lugs. Come on, man. The JVC Gigatube.
Come on, bro.
Yo, we sound super old, bro.
We are, yes.
Nah, man, them Lugs commercials though, because I knew Lugs for two things: Birdman and
Birdman
WWE
Lugs
sponsorship. Yep.
I had a pair of Lugs by the time WWE started sponsoring them, so I was like, Lugs, baby, it's lit. Lugs and Wallabies. We back to 1998.
Graham says, adrenaline in my soul. Number one babyface Cody Rhodes.
Oh my God, yes.
Other people were mad about him facing the Miz, and
I don't know why they were so mad.
It was what it was supposed to be. It was a TV match.
It was a TV match.
Who cares?
I mean, I'll say this: I get the disdain for Miz. I don't necessarily think it's that the Miz is bad, but I do think it's that the Miz is tired. I do think that he is an act.
He needs to overhaul like a son of a gun.
Like he's had some small tweaks here and there, but for the most part, he's been the same act since 2010
for a long time.
It's been for a
since
long
he was
time.
WWE champion. He's been the same character.
And when you think about how I know Jericho's kind of extreme comparison because Jericho has really done a great job just reinventing himself every few years. But when you think about the fact that Miz made his debut in WWE 18 years ago, and by the time John Cena reached 16 years, he was a part-timer. And so Miz has just been around so long.
And he's not a part-timer. He's still full-time.
He's still full-time. And I think there is kind of this groaning sense people have when something is announced with the Miz where it's
again,
haven't we seen this before? And the problem is, as I tweeted about, the answer is probably yes. Yeah. Because as far as Cody versus Miz was concerned, and Cody brought it up in his promo. Cody was like, when he said it's been 6 years since you last saw me, Miz. And he was like, do I look the same to you? Because you look the same to me.
Right. It's
I look the same.
You see this?
Like he's a completely different act.
Yeah, and I mean the way that you're putting it right now, I didn't understand why fans were upset, but I guess so. Like if like you've been waiting for Cody Rhodes to come back to WWE, and like all the matches that there could be, like you're just gonna run this match that I could already pull up on the WWE network.
Oh yeah, Cody has faced Miz Cody's faced Miz 6 times in his previous run. So
right.
I was like,
I get it.
That was something we had already seen, and that's kind of my issue. And then like I could see a lot of people who were kind of using Cody's words against him, where they're like, Cody had said, "Hey, I faced everybody I wanted to face in AEW," and it was like, "But you jumped ship over here to face a guy that you faced like 100 times already."
Right?
So,
yeah, that's pretty silly.
I got what the complaint was. I don't think it was necessary because like a lot of people were using it to defend Miz, where it's like, "Hey, no, Miz is a legend in this business," and he is. He absolutely
definitely.
Is. But I also think that there comes a point of diminishing returns where it's like if you have been around so long without any real gap, there isn't like Miz used to brag that never been injured, never had any major injuries, never had anything put me on the shelf, but also. Yeah, that means that you've been around. That means
we've never been able to miss you because you haven't been gone.
We've never been able to miss the Miz. There's never been a point where it's like, man, I would just love to see the Miz back.
What happened to the Miz? It's like, nope, Miz is here. He's right there. There he is.
He's always been here.
I thought the segment they did was better than the match itself. The segment.
I liked the segment. I didn't care for the match. The match
was
whatever. But I did like the segment. I actually did. Yeah. And I thought that's more of the stuff we need to see from Cody. I kind of don't like that Cody is now timing out the "whoa" by the way in the song, but I don't know if you noticed in his entrance, but now he like stands and poses and goes "whoa" like that's
production. Gotta get that WWE production in, man.
I know. I was like, I liked it when it was a more kind of natural thing.
He wants his WWE 2K video game character to be right. You got to get it right on screen, so then the character. Yeah, I get it.
Give the kids something to pop about, man.
More pyro. Blow it up.
Grand Beast says WWE would put Asuka and Shirai in jacket time.
Big facts. They might call them up and put them all together. Jacket time.
Do it, please.
Jacket time.
Let's see what else.
And make them into a dance group.
A dance group.
Some bullshit. Yeah.
Brent says, for being the soundtrack while I help my friends move and support. Have a great week, gentlemen. Thank you, Brent.
You're a good friend for helping your friends move on a Saturday morning. Damn, they got your ass.
I know, right? Ain't there like a Uber service for movers, by the way, where you can just be like
Uber for moving? What?
Like where it's just like, I need movers real quick. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
one of my friends was like on that app, and he was just like, he got paged, and he's like, oh damn, I gotta go help somebody move, but he's like, but it's $50, so I'm gonna go do this real quick and then come back.
I've never heard of that.
Like that's somebody to just help you lift some shit. It's just like you sign.
Come help me move this couch, bro. All right, I'll come through for $50. All right.
Yeah, and that's it. And if that, maybe I dreamed that up or something, but I'm pretty sure.
You better trademark it. No, it's definitely real. There's an app for everything, especially in California. You can
Uber moves.
Bring anybody for anything. Like, come do my laundry.
Maybe we called out this dude's name before, but if not, I have to talk about Marlon Jackson.
Ooh,
Michael Marlon.
Yeah, we did because I think we made that same joke before. Yes.
Marlon Jackson says, "I don't get the discourse on the name change. We went from Papa Shango to Kama to Godfather to Good Father, then back to Godfather. Gunther himself told people to move on." Okay, so here's the thing about Papa Shango. WWE hit this point in the mid '90s or like late '90s where kind of like. Everything pre-1997 was like not canon anymore. Yeah. Where it was basically like
we're starting over.
Yeah, we're starting over for a lot of guys. Like, okay, we still have Papa Shango employed. You're right. He is no longer going to be Papa Shango. We're gonna ignore that ever fucking happened. He is Kama, who later evolved into the Godfather, Kama Mustafa, who later evolved into just the Godfather. I'm a fucking pimp. And then the Good Father. Honestly, I think the Good Father is one of my like favorite evolutions of a character ever. I'm just like, you know what? I have reformed my ways. Like, because it is amazing that in 2022 that'd be something that's like cheered. But in 2000 it was like, wait. You're not a pimp. You don't have the hose anymore. Boo this man.
You was bringing out 8 hoes last week, and now you're bringing out no hose. No, this is awful. We want the hose. Come on, it's easy.
Boo this man. Nah, but like back then it was like, you know what? Literally, we saw Isaac Yankem wrestling in '96, but in '97 he's Kane, and Isaac Yankem never existed.
Nope. Before that, he was fake Diesel too. They just you could be anybody you want. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was like none of this existed,
and that's different. That's a great point to bring up, Marlon, because now you couldn't do that. Like, there's the internet now. It's way different.
It's a lot
I know
different
about Gunther. I know about Walter. I know about all the things that he did before coming here. It's not like people back then legit would forget. Like, I don't remember. Like, most fans don't care that he was Isaac Yankem before, you know?
And there wasn't necessarily a resource for that either. Like, right now, as you sell Peacock, WWE Network, all that stuff, there wasn't necessarily a huge resource for going back watching old WWE content.
Exactly.
So it wasn't necessarily even in WWE's interest to talk up their own history, because back then it was like, well, what do you have? Some old VHS tapes?
Like, if I didn't tape it, I'm not going to see it again.
Right.
That's it. It's over.
It wasn't... You could just forget things. But yeah, the Attitude Era was almost like a hard reset for a lot of things, because there was a lot of stuff that just wasn't canon anymore.
They brought in Jeff Jarrett as like 3 different gimmicks, just himself. You know what I mean? Like, every time they brought him back, he was somebody different. But he was still Jeff Jarrett, but a different gimmick.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, I think there's a difference between somebody just doing a character change and doing a complete revamp and repackage, and
definitely
us as fans being pulled out of the experience and knowing the company is telling them to make a character change. Right. That is totally different, and I think that's what the difference in the discourse is.
Agreed.
Right. And they didn't do it week to week. It wasn't like,
exactly.
You saw Papa Shango on this show. I've ever talked about, I haven't talked about it on Grapsody, that, like, as a kid, I was deathly afraid of Papa Shango. That was the scariest man in the world to me.
Bro, he had people throwing up, man. I know. Yeah, it was
I thought that when I was a little kid, I thought that shit was real. I was like, oh my God. He, like, possessed Ultimate Warrior.
Bro's doing voodoo.
And had him, like, bleeding from his forehead. Like, what the hell was all that? Like,
I have a great Black Wrestling's episode on that moment that everybody should listen to. I'll link you guys. Yeah, it's a great moment. There was a time that shit was scary. The dude was doing voodoo. He had people throwing up. His eyes and shit was going back. No, I didn't like that shit. Especially as a kid. It's like 1992. We're like 3 or 4 years old. Man, it's crazy out here.
Yeah, I was a little ass kid. Just, like, scared as hell of Papa Shango. I could not fathom this man making Ultimate Warrior vomit like that, and I'm like scared out of my mind.
Right.
That said, I didn't know it was supposed to be like blood coming from Ultimate Warrior's forehead. I thought that was motor oil.
Yeah, I'm still kind of confused as why black shit started coming out of the top of Ultimate Warrior's head, but it got me.
Anyway, Ronan Mike Clip says, did you guys see RJ City call Eddie Kingston's Tim's lugs on Hey EW? I didn't see that episode. I haven't watched the Eddie Kingston episode, but I do. Funny. Shout out RJ City. I do think that Hey EW has been very funny.
Yeah, very cool concept for a show. Good idea.
Yeah. Santo says, what do you think RK Bro unifies the titles and this causes major heat in the bloodline? The Usos will somehow cost Roman the title.
Nope.
In a huge feud.
Usos are 1,000,000% getting those belts.
Well, let's talk about our next story. Because there's been a lot of questions about this. They're unifying the tag titles. No matter what, they're unifying the tag titles.
Yes.
Then at this point, the only titles that exist as not unified would be the women's
U.S. Championship and the IC titles.
I think you can keep both of those. I think you can keep those separate. But the women's and IC titles, or women's and IC, the 2 women's titles, would be the only ones that are on 2 separate people. I don't know if the brand split's ending, but there's been a lot of questions about that. There's been a lot of crossover. They kind of just don't seem to care lately of just like this person's wrestling here, this person's wrestling there.
Everybody's everywhere. People are in NXT, like Natty's in NXT. They don't care about nothing. They're like, be wherever you want.
I personally think they should end it.
Definitely.
I think that
I agree.
It's kind of outlived its purpose, in that part of the reason that the brand split even existed was, and I'm not saying WWE should make decisions around AEW's existence, but they did around WCW's. The brand extension existed because at that point, WWE had absorbed the majority of the wrestling industry. They suddenly had all those ECW guys. They suddenly had all those WCW guys, plus all their talent, plus the guys that were calling up from OVW. Nah, we can't fit all of this on one show. We've got to divvy this up a little bit and create competition within ourselves.
Right.
Now, WWE couldn't be trusted to create competition within themselves because there was a long period where, or I say long, what I meant to say was long ago, because it was a very short period where they tried to give the shows their own identities. It was like Raw is going to have a slightly different presentation than SmackDown. We got the referees wearing blue shirts. Our belts are completely different. Yep. These are different shows. We're going to try and do different things with the way they're presented. And then as time went on, it was like, okay, we need some uniformity. And they stopped a lot of the things that made them separate. And now they're not separate shows at all. Raw and SmackDown are literally the exact same show with just different people. And there's nothing different in the presentation.
I liked when it was 2016 they tried to do it again. I liked what they were doing with SmackDown for a while.
Right. Yeah, and they did like the different. They had the different
camera angles and everything. But then they just stopped. They were just like, oh actually all these shows are the same.
Yeah, it's like it's the same exact set. It's the same exact literally everything. Because like remember how surreal it was when John Cena got drafted to Raw, because it was like, damn, this is like we've only seen him with the fist behind him, and now all of a sudden he is on this show. It looks odd. And now it's like you don't get that now because they're literally the same exact stage. And the presentation is the same. Everything's the same. The belts are the same. It's the same belt, just with
same thing,
a different color. And so there's nothing really that separates these brands other than the wrestlers themselves. And at that point, WWE released hundreds of people in the last couple of years. So like now they don't necessarily have that bloated of a roster anymore. It's actually kind of thin on both sides. We were just talking about how thin the women's division is on SmackDown, how we were talking about the heel lineup on Raw and how it's not exactly full of
not
depth.
Really there, yeah.
But you combine them and you kind of have a really solid women's division there.
Right.
Tag teams are thin on both rosters. You combine them, you have a halfway decent tag team division. And so to me, I do feel like it is kind of time. I do think that you could run with just having one brand and two shows and just kind of alternate who appears on which. That's what I would do. That worked at one point. I feel like from 99 till 2002, Raw and SmackDown being shows that were, I don't think you could pull it off with both on cable. I think that's where it became a necessity. But when it was like you had one on network TV in UPN and one on USA/Spike TV, you could there was a reason to essentially run these things separately because not everybody has cable and you're kind of giving people access to these wrestlers in a different setting. That's exactly the way the setup is now. That's what I would do personally. I say it's kind of worn out its necessity. Now you don't necessarily have the bloated roster. Wrestlers do have another place to go wrestle. There is an actual alternative brand out there. You don't have to have competition within yourself any longer. I wouldn't do it any longer.
Just start going for it. And they've already been doing it. Like just this week, Sasha and Naomi are on both shows. Like it's already like they already have pretty much ended the brand split. They just haven't said it out loud. But yeah, you just have to. There can't be a brand split anymore. Only issue is this can't lead to just Roman being over every show. That's the only thing that I get nervous about. Is they're just like, all right, well now we could just have Roman be the center of every single show that we have going on. So
you know what the hard thing about that is to me? They did that anyway with the brand split in place. It was still like, hey, Roman's on SmackDown, but the second he gets in the ring with somebody from Raw, he's gonna beat him.
He's the man. Yeah.
He's the man. Like both Survivor Series.
I feel like that's a current problem though. Like I don't feel like that was the issue before Roman became Universal Champion. Like I feel like there was a clear split between champions on both brands. Now I do think that there was more priority on some people, but I think Roman has absolutely taken priority over everything at the moment.
Yeah. I think, but that's the thing. If you're going to do that, if you're telling people we have one champion that matters, then have one champion that matters.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're gonna tell us that he's the man. Just make him the man. That's it.
Just fucking do it. That's how I feel about that.
The coincidence in this is I just wrote an article on the pros and cons of ending the brand split for Bleacher Report yesterday. So
look at that. Yes.
I will reshare that after we finish. But
let's go.
Man, one of the things that I'm worried about is the women's division because I feel like we went for so long where the main women's title was the only thing that had stakes to it. So that was the only thing that they booked storylines around. And so I'm scared that if there's only one title, you're going to get less opportunities for the women.
Agreed.
You're going to get less screen time for certain women. And I feel like that's an issue with the world title as well. I feel like you're going to get less screen time for certain people. And then what becomes the line then? If there's one world title, then you drop a lot of guys that might be top tier guys that are not considered the guy back into the Intercontinental / US title reign. And then it's like, how do those guys move up? Like, I don't know. It worries me because you know how they get with once they decide somebody is our guy, then everybody else is backseat. And it wouldn't surprise me if we're looking at, again, Charlotte as champion, and then everybody else is just behind Charlotte.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is I think Bianca has kind of shown to the company that like she's up there. She's it. She's up there.
This is true, but we did see them when Becky came back just go, oh, well, Becky's back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I am a little worried.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And I really want to
see how they prioritize the other wrestlers beyond these the three main blah blah blah. It's like, what about everybody else?
Yeah, and I said this on Twitter, and I got a little flack for it. But if there's not 2 world titles, then we don't get some of the black champions we got over the last few years because they don't put that same priority on them because you've got another world title that you can book them as.
But to me, I think that's a good thing in that. Then
expose
is it though?
Because
okay, hold on. Because I'm saying then expose it. Then you kind of run out of the excuse of like, yeah, we crowned a black world champion, but we have the real champion over here. Nah, fuck all that. Like, I don't want a black champion with an asterisk. I want, either do it or don't. And so
then the question then becomes: do they give somebody like Big E that chance?
That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I don't want to give them anybody an excuse to not answer that. So
that's true. But I don't know. There's a lot about it that worries me. I do think it would help the tag division more than anything because they don't have enough tag champions. I mean, they don't have enough tag teams for 2 tag belts.
Yeah.
If anything, those titles should be unified. But like I said, the women's title that really scares me because they don't book secondary feuds for the women well. And I mean, that's not just them. I mean, I feel like
they barely booked the main thing well, so it's hard for them to book 2 things.
It worries me. And I feel like that's a criticism people throw at AEW. So once you get just one women's title, could get a little bit dicey. And who knows what they're going to do with the women's tag titles. Like, you just never know.
You never know. I don't know. I that's why it's a topic. But let's see what the gallery is thinking. And that we got Isaiah saying Roman versus Rock. No, MJF versus Hollywood Rock. Promos. The Shot Kid 29 says, my issue with WWE's way of changing names is it comes across as insulting fans' intelligence versus, say, 2.0's name change playing into the act.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
And B Rob says, so 1 belt to rule them all?
Yep.
So it sounds like. Graham B says, which of the 4 horsewomen jumps first?
Bailey.
I don't think any of them are jumping.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. There's one with an inside track, and that is Charlotte Flair. Yeah. But I can't say her name any other way ever since Vince McMahon was like, Charlotte Flair. Your name is match. Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
I mean, a few years ago, we thought it was Sasha, so you just never know. Things could change.
Sasha almost did, though. She asked for her release, and she was actively watching
and they
Double
said
or
no
Nothing at the time. And because they knew what that would have done for
that would have been huge.
Division.
Oh my
God.
God.
That would have been huge.
Then treat her like that then.
Please, still.
And let's see what else we got here.
Sasha Banks.
Where is my... There it is.
Sasha Banks.
Let's see. We got a couple more Humper
Give
chats.
it to Bobby.
Addy says, hey guys, watching on a delay. Will talking about his dream triggered mine. For some reason, I dreamt I was fighting with a total stranger talking about, do you even know wrestling if you don't listen to Grapsody? Do you even know who Righteous Reg is?
Come on. Do you know me? It's me, Media Man.
Johan says, sorry I'm late in the Satnam Singh stuff. Not to speak for all Indians, but the debut of Satnam did nothing for me. If AEW are hoping to break into the mainstream, they need to get off Eurosport. No one watches that channel. Yeah, I have heard
stop
that too.
speaking for or not speaking for entire races. We can't just eliminate that from your vocabulary ever. Don't say it. A lot of people say as a black, don't say it. Just don't. Just speak for yourself. Don't put any. I'm not talking about Indian. I'm talking about blacks. I'm talking about white people. Don't put anything on the rest of your people. Just say me right now in this moment. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Now, I will say that, I that's what I've heard about Eurosport, is that Eurosport isn't exactly like widely subscribed to, that it's kind of like I imagine it's like for us, like Access is. And so it doesn't exactly have a huge amount of exposure. It is owned by Discovery, but it's not exactly a network people love. So that much I have heard from a lot of people. Hey, speaking of things I've heard, all right, we got to talk about number one.
As a fat person, I'm hungry is very funny.
As a fat person, I'm hungry.
All right, finally.
Y'all are silly.
Look, this is number one for a number of reasons.
Listen, they said the Grapsody Invitational is happening on Dynamite, and what happened? You were there, Will. Please tell us about it. Please tell us about this live moment, because this shit was crazy.
I was there, and that crowd was there for Ricky Starks. More than anybody else, that was who they came to see.
His entrance and that emotion he was showing was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, the fans were there for Ricky Starks. But you know what was great? They didn't give anybody else in that match flack. It was like, because, I was kind of worried for Swerve. I was like, you know what? Maybe he has to work heel in this match because this crowd may not be there for him. He's actively feuding with Ricky. Nah,
nope.
They gave him everything.
Yep.
Still plenty of whose house, Swerve's house. It was like, you know what? He's still getting the chance, even if he's...
You're doing it.
Yeah.
I was talking with him about this after the match, and one of the things we talked about was the fact that, him and Keith have tagged plenty in the indies. But the good news is there's a lot of people. I've said before, 2017 is probably my favorite. 2016, 2017 is like my favorite indie period in wrestling. I think the indies were just on fire. Hell, that's what led to the launch of AEW and NXT having all of those guys that they brought in at that point, because the indies were so on fire at that point. PWG was killing it. Evolve was killing it. Everybody was killing it at that point. Everybody had to take notice, and the wrestling you're seeing today was born out of all of that.
Yes.
But the cool thing is, a lot of people missed that. And so what's great about Swerve and Keith Lee is that a lot of the spots that they were known for doing on the indies together have never been seen by anybody on TV.
Like when they were setting up the chest spot, I'm like, oh, they're doing the spot. Like I had seen it before. I didn't know. I thought people had seen it before. I was like, oh, that's a cool spot. But people were like, oh my God, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
And people in the crowd were like, what the hell just happened there? Like people were so into that. And I just thought, this is so cool. It's so cool that there are people who have never seen this before. There are people who don't know that Keith Lee and Swerve ever were paired together.
Imagine if the world got that Swan Ricochet tag team on WWE.
I'm saying
they never saw it.
They didn't.
Man.
All Night Express.
So like I was just over the moon with this match. The way the crowd was into it, hanging on to it at every second. The only thing I didn't like watching it back on TV was that I thought that Keith Lee's pounce on Ricky Starks out of the air actually looked way better than it did. But they caught it from behind because
on tape, it didn't look that great on tape.
You're right, but if you had seen it from the right side, he hit it perfectly. I thought that it looked great, and that's why the crowd reacted the way they did, because it did look great. But I thought they just killed it. And
this was a showcase for everybody, what I love. Like Hobbs got some shining moments. He was like on 100. Everything that he hit it hard. It was beautiful. I loved it.
No, I loved everything about this. There's zero complaints about it, and I know I've seen even from like I saw Matt Morgan post that video about how they've ruined Keith Lee. Or no, he was like, Keith Lee shouldn't have lost. Vince Russo was like, oh, they've just made Keith Lee another guy. No, they didn't.
How?
Yeah, he was like,
what match did you guys watch?
Yeah, he was like, they just made Keith Lee another guy, and I thought that's exactly what you've missed here. The whole match was showcasing Keith Lee strength stuff and showing this is all stuff Keith Lee can do. You know, Keith Lee had that leapfrog spot where he jumped over Hobbs as Hobbs was charging at him, and then
that was hot.
That was great, right? Keith had some great shit in there. Although
they're still setting up a big Hobbs and Keith Lee match. Like they're having stare downs. Like they're just setting this giant matchup up.
You had to give Hobbs the win to set up that match.
And that was the thing that I've been trying to tell people as far as what you were supposed to get out of this. And I hope that most people did get this out of this, and that it's just the trolls who haven't. That you have Keith Lee extremely over. The crowd was chanting "Bask in his glory" all throughout. They loved all of his spots. Love Keith Lee. Keith Lee is the man as far as being a big force, and everybody sees him as such. Ricky Starks was the star here. Everybody loves Ricky Starks in New Orleans. He was so over. Everybody was there to see Ricky. They did some post-show stuff with Ricky. Fans just wanted to see Ricky. Have that. Swerve, also very over. He's got the Who's House, Swerve's House call. People love that. They love his moves. They're always impressed with what Swerve does. Swerve was over in that match. When you have three guys like that are that over, and then you have Hobbs, who has all the potential to be, the best thing you can do is use all of that star power you have between these three guys and use it to lift the guy who needs it the most up. And that's exactly what this match did. You took everybody here. Hobbs was probably the least talked about guy here, but he came out of it the most talked about because he hit that spine buster. It looked good. He hit it on a guy who just had a really impressive showing in the match, a guy who is 350, nearly 400 pounds. You hit that on him. It looks good. It shook the ring. It shook everybody at ringside. Hitting that spine buster, it was clean. JR is like, what the hell? You know, when it happened, you see my face at ringside. Everybody saw my face.
My face?
Like, you see me at ringside. You could see me in that spot with my jaw on the floor because I'm like, I felt that, you know, when that happened. And the fact is, like, with everything that was happening through that match, the fact that it was all used to lift up Hobbs, I think was the ultimate good thing. And
it was the point of the match, I felt like.
That was the point of the match. And so I feel like everybody walked out of that match better. And hate to bust some of these guys out, I have talked to, of the 5 black men involved in this match, I have talked to 4 of them about the match. Every single one of them was on a high, celebrating like they accomplished something really special with this match. The crowd, the way they all loved it, and just what they were able to do for Hobbs, what they were able to do in showcasing themselves, and having everybody praising it. Everybody was into it.
So the 5th guy you didn't talk to, I'm assuming that was Taz. No, no. Shout out to Smith, man. Like he's doing a great job.
Stephon Smith, he's doing a great job, repping. No, honestly,
incredible.
Everybody was so proud of what they did in that match, and just the sense of accomplishment with it.
Great match. The show was hot.
I will point out a little secret. Look at if you watch the post show stuff. The stuff they did after the show, or even throughout the match. Look at Ricky Starks' neck. Again, if you weren't paying attention, he got his neck scratched.
Bearcat was actually there. Huh?
Yeah, but yeah, but no, it was. I'm so proud of everybody in that match and everything they were able to do.
That show was tight,
and the fact that it was built to, like, this was 8 weeks worth of build when you think about everything that happened, which was Keith Lee signing with AEW. The following week, he's confronted by Starks and Hobbs. And then the week after that, he has the match with JD Drake, but then Hobbs comes out afterward. And then then
Hobbs
Swerve
been beefing with the bruh since he pulled up.
Yeah,
Legit.
and then Swerve shows up, but then Ricky Starks got a problem with Swerve suddenly calling this his house, and so Hobbs and Starks start to kind of take beef with Swerve and Keith, and so those two align. Swerve has the match with Starks, Hobbs has the match with Keith, and like everything was all tying together to lead to this. And I love that it was a match with build. It was a match with story behind it. All the stories came into play. Everybody talked up their shit. It was just, I was so happy with it. I was so proud of everybody in that match. And I was so glad I got to be there at ringside for it.
Yep.
No, that match was really special to me. And
very special. Grapsody Invitational.
Grapsody Invitational. No, and like I said, I talked to Hobbs afterwards, and he was happy with what he did. I'm
sure he gave up a whole bunch of info. He didn't just say yeah like he always does.
No, man, this was an awesome match. There were so many things that were great about it. I think if it was just like us being excited that there were 4 black men in the ring together, then we would look kind of crazy. But no, they went out there and
yeah, the match is fire.
They had a tough position to be in because you had to compete with that main event that a lot of people were excited for, which is a dream match, and then you had a amazing tag match earlier in that tag title match, and then you had the opener, which was also great.
Yep.
And I thought that they killed it. They had their own match. It didn't feel like this was just another good match on a great card. It felt like their thing. It was awesome. I felt like from Swerve doing that 450 that I was like, yo, and I say all the time, man, the dude can do everything. He's a jack of all trades. He can do the mat based stuff. He can do the strikes. He can do high flying stuff like that. He can do it all, man. I say he's one of the best in the world for a reason. I'm not just hyping him up just because he's black. He's one of the best in the world. I really feel like that.
Swerve is the man. He legit doesn't. He can do everything, and he does not do things on purpose. But he can do whatever he wants in the ring. Like I said on Twitter, Swerve is my favorite AEW wrestler that exists right now in this moment. He's amazing. Everything that he does is fucking perfect. Will Hobbs is my friend, and I still say Swerve is number one because Swerve is the fucking guy, and it's been like this for years and years, but you see it here on display every time he's in the ring. He's Swerve, man. He's incredible. He can do anything in the world. He soon will be AEW world champion. Fuck that TNT championship. I don't care.
Bro.
I want to see the AEW world champion Swerve. Let's fucking go,
man. And it's just cool.
And I manifested him being in AEW too. Let's not forget that.
It's just cool to see him being himself again and get his chant over.
Most importantly, yeah.
I think that's another good thing about this match is seeing how seamlessly him and Keith came in and got all of their stuff over. And man, Ricky's was
incredible,
low-key
man.
To start this match, man. He had several spots that I was like, yo, this dude is it, man.
Ricky just stands out like it in a ring full of people that stand out. Ricky Starks is fucking a big star, man.
In this era where if you get a GIF out there and it just circulates, that GIF of him doing that sequence and then doing his pose afterwards, I'm like, yo, this dude's got it, man. I just thought it was a great match all around, man. And I mean, like I said, it was competing with a lot of other great wrestling. Like we haven't talked at all about that main event from last night, which was incredible. But this match, like I said, is still probably one of the best matches of the week.
Yeah, and honestly, man. Like if you have an issue with anybody with Swerve and Keith losing, and granted, look, I would obviously be the biggest Swerve mark out there. I will tell you, without, I suppose, breaking kayfabe too much, nobody had an issue with the finish. Everybody was happy with it. Everybody thought it was the right call. And
why do y'all get so hung up on fucking finishes?
Man, and it's not like Keith
but it was
clean.
A great finish. It was a great fucking finish. Like
it was awesome. Yeah,
yeah. Like
see that spine buster?
That spine buster was some of the most impressive shit. Like that's if you've got somebody who looks as good as Hobbs does right now, and like that man is so jacked right now.
Beast.
It is like night
He's
and
huge.
day. When I saw him in person. Like, when you look at him in 2020, and people look back at his 2020, I remember 2020, they're like, hey, you should push Will Hobbs. And it's like, no, now you should push Will Hobbs.
Yeah.
Like, that man looks so much.
He's a beast. He earned it. He worked hard. He knew when he started that where he wanted to get, and he's at where he wanted to get right now, dude. He's an incredible looking specimen. He's a professional wrestler, action figure looking giant ass fool. He's scary, and he will slam the shit out of you.
Absolutely looks like a fucking action figure right now.
I love him. That's so my fucking brother, man.
Right now, like, yeah, nah. Did you call
him? I'm gonna cry when either one of those. I did call him. He don't answer my phone. He always says that. Call me. Yeah, whatever. Answer your fucking phone, powerhouse.
Like, when he walked off, he was like, "Hey, tell Reg to call me." I'm like, "Okay."
Jokes and spaghetti. No, if Powerhouse Hobbs or Swerve win the AEW World Championship, if they have the match, I will be in the building wherever it is because I have to. That's all I'm saying. Can't wait.
No, I was really proud of those guys. And,
awesome fucking match. Awesome 5 black men, including the referee, in a wrestling match. What more?
Not everybody ever gives the ref credit, but any singles match it takes 3, right? Because
you can't do the match without the ref.
You can't do the match without the ref. That was brought up in the 1 hour Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page match, where like you didn't just have 2 wrestlers like working their ass off for an hour. You had 3 people in there for an hour. That Paul Turner did a fucking Iron Man match too, man. Like he was out there for an hour too. He worked an hour. There was no ref bump. You didn't switch out the ref. That was a straight up hour long.
I never really thought about that. That's funny. Like thinking, like looking at the sheet, and you're like Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega 1 hour referee. Me, oh damn.
You had to work a damn hour too. So yeah, I always it's always shout out to the referees, especially with stuff like that.
No, man. But
yeah, I wanted to save that for last because it was just
incredible,
a great time, and I'm glad I got to be there for it. I even got to witness in person Tony Khan's actual reaction to it, and that man, like. It's hard to illustrate unless you've like seen.
I'm just thinking of JJ's Tony Khan impression. JJ has a great Tony Khan impression too when he does this hyped up. I'm excited about everybody being here. Tony Khan, I love it.
And like when you see like how enthusiastic Tony Khan is about pro wrestling, and like just the fact that
it's infectious.
When he saw them, he was like, "Great shit, God!" Like I can't do it justice, but like. Tony Khan was over the moon about that match too. Like it was great. I thought they did exactly what they needed to do.
Speaking of great matches, just to put somebody over, I keep saying, man, Naomi, they've got to give Naomi a single run at some point. I thought that match she had last night with Rhea was fantastic, man, and it was one of the few things I really enjoyed about SmackDown last night. You got to give her that single title run.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
It's good. I know people are talking about the pin the most, which, come on, you horny wrestling fans.
Speaking of which,
me next, Ria.
Fightful will have an interview up soon with Ria where that's also discussed. She knows exactly what she's doing. And so, hey, I want to part with the remaining super chats. And it is Marlon Jackson says, make one of the women's championships like the women's IC title, and now you have 3 active titles.
There you go, Marlon. That's pretty great.
I think having a white belt would be great.
Yeah, but what, just for the white women? Yeah, I agree.
No, like a metaphorical white belt. A metaphorical white belt. They can change the color of one of the belts. Come on. Come on.
It's like, no, we got Bianca.
Liv Morgan's like, thank God I could get away from fucking Bianca.
Come on, man.
Hey, the dynamics already set up. The dynamics already set up too, right? You got Bianca having one, Charlotte's got the other. Let's do it.
Come on, man. Come on, man. This is why you guys should watch Stardom. That is a Stardom turn. Come on. They have a white belt and they have a red belt. That's where it came from. Come on. Why you guys always making it about race, you people?
Graham says, you know who's talking about that? He's like, talking trash on that finish?
Oh my God,
Bots.
dude.
Yeah, agree.
Y'all got me good, man. Y'all are wild.
Marlon said, I wish Nyla had given Ricky the Gambit gear idea earlier. I love the Saints gear, but man, my nerd heart would have loved the Gambit gear. Yeah, that would have been cool. And Orion says, match did everything it was supposed to. No man looked bad. Profiles got raised. Stole the show. Elevated Young Lion. It did for Hobbs what Moxley did for Yuta in a different way. Thanks, guys. Have a safe week.
Yuta is over, bro.
Yuta is on his way, boy. Oh, my God. Who would have thought a slap would change somebody's life?
And then
ask Will Smith, slaps, do that.
Kareem said, ever since it's been renamed as the Last Will and Testament, it's been curtains for whoever takes it. I love that name. Last Will and Testament, have a man heaven sent. Sorry, that's a Graham line from the song Powerhouse on Who We Are.
Listen to that. Number one in Switzerland.
Come on, man. Yeah, streaming on Spotify and all of the DSPs right now.
Let's go, baby.
All right, but that's it, folks. I got a dip. I have to take that child you just saw to her acting class. So, folks, it is now that time for me to say that is it for this edition of Grapsody on your Saturday afternoon. I'm Will Washington for Philip Lindsey for Righteous Reg. We'll see you next time. And have a great day. Peace.